Yeah. I know that crowd's getting excited. Listen, I know you're excited, but hear me out. This may be the first time on CrossFire I'm not too excited because I got a panel assembled for you guys tonight, okay? And there's going to be a few people that are going to be popping in on the show. And the thing about tonight's show is Mooch might be on the defensive. Usually it's the great Xbot448, the Xbox defense lawyer, that has to pull out all the stops. But tonight I might be on my own. I don't know how tonight's going to go for Mooch, but nonetheless, I'm excited and I look forward to these evenings. These are the evenings that I look forward to. I love this discussion. It doesn't mean you have to agree with anybody, but you got to agree with me. No, you don't. Point being is this. Guys, please do go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. I don't say that enough. I don't. That's a me problem. It's my fault. But I truly, truly appreciate everything that you guys do to help the channel. We've done so many things. We're so close. The room is set up. Everything's kind of moving in the right direction. We're hoping for the big reveal. We're going to do a big deal next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a new show, possibly. At least Twitch. At least Twitch. I'm going to give you a little something, right? You got to do something new. So nonetheless, guys, please do go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so you know what's going on the channel. Hit the join button, if you will, guys. That's how you become a Mooch Maniac family member. That's how you really, truly help the channel. Right above that description, you see that lovely join button. These are the great people that help the channel grow. I'm going to call them out right now, and then we're going to get going on this fine show. Thank you so much to the great Sir X-Man, who you're going to hear from very soon. JudaZuk, WoolleyGamer, Frostbite Slash, Zombilla Ice Cream, Custods, MumbleRanting Gaming, Tyson Web 509, All-Round Gamer, TrueWiddy, Kn1ght Ripper7, Big Chuck 777, Alphonso Carter, Punkidish, the great BRAP, Jamie, Lady Foxfire, Replicant, Damien, Evan Fastbender, fantastic name, Wraith the Emperor, who's back. We missed you back then, Wraith. Our major Mooch Maniac. Shout out to the great Gaming with Persona, who's a Mooch Maniac family member. Sergeant Salty Nuts, Donnell Brown, Smokes 901, That Guy Smitty, 4-star General, Brian B, a.k.a. Delirium Blades. And our VIP Mooch Maniacs mean so much. The great Rated D Demonic is home. It's great to have him here. Fork Boy Gaming, Tactical Gamer, Slayin' Chilean, Sean Slomka, The Wise Old Gamer, Windingo Rex, Bryant Carter, The Great Marty Bison, Mex J88, Remarkable Knights, The Great Percolator 9000, and our honorable mentions. Guys, this means so much. The great Supreme Samurai, who I miss. We miss you. We miss you so much. Humacast, JWE316, Rich Kreiser, Ice Cream Gaming, the great Wilmy Hood, and the forever Mooch Maniac, Longshot 316. And I'm just, listen, right now, I can't even say, I'm speechless. I'm speechless because I didn't even get a chance to introduce him yet, but the phenomenal Strictly Gaming is now a VIP Mooch Maniac. He's a family member, okay? This is how easy it is. Thank you so much, Strictly, and we're going to get to a phenomenal intro for you in a second. But before we get to Strictly, I got to tell you, this is going to be one hell of a show. Please do tweet it out. Let everybody know we're live. It is a little after 7 in New York. You guys love it. We're kicking off the gaming weekend. And we could not kick off gaming without the one, the only, a Crap Gamer. Crap, we figured that the limousine was going around the building at least 3 or 4 times. You deliberately did that. You wanted us to wait, which, by the way, you have every right to do, in my personal opinion. But it's great that you're here with us. And how are you this evening, buddy?
Doing well. Just it's exciting to be here. I was like, last minute as always.
Yes.
It's just like you get to a point where you do these things. You don't want to show up an hour ahead of time. Like that used to be like a long time ago.
Remember that
now
crap.
It's like, now it's like you show up, you do the thing, and you get the hell out.
Yeah, it's funny.
Basically...
Yeah, Crap's got his own punch card. You know what I mean? He comes in, he punches in, and then he punches out.
I mean, it'd be different if I was new to this or something. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like I know
we've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah, so it's like
it's
not really a thing that I try to do to be a dick. It's just one of those things where it's just like, you know what I mean? There's always something going on.
I know. Believe me. It's great.
So yeah, but make sure you guys share it out and like it and all that kind of good stuff because there is a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah.
And that's you know what? It's weird. It's days like this. I wish Xbot were here because
I know.
You were kind of looking for. I was kind of looking forward to kind of going back.
He works. This is it. He switched Friday, so now he was here last week. He's off this. He's working this one. He'll be back next week. So shout out to the great Xbot448. He will be joining us next week.
A little bit here and there. Is that just me?
Am I botting, guys?
Does anybody?
I don't hear him. I don't hear him.
Okay, it might just be me. I don't know.
Well, I hope it's not me. If it's me,
it rained earlier, so that could be. When you live out here in the.
It's like the dark times over where Crap is. Rain can affect everything, right? Christmas is canceled.
Yes. It's basically,
right.
You gotta, you push the wagons with the horses and if it rains, that
So
affects
great.
your internet. You can't even call it like high speed.
The Oregon
internet, to be
Trail
honest
over at
with
Crap's
you.
house. Yes.
Dysentery everywhere. It's crazy.
Great to have you, Crap. I love it, man. I love it. Absolutely love it. Then I've got my buddy here. I got Basement Radio, Arcade, Podcast. BRAP. BRAP is on the show. You guys know this. Now, BRAP, I'm a little off wits here. I'm a little off my own kilter here because you are usually the king of pregame, and we didn't get enough BRAP today. So, BRAP, I'm looking forward to a lot of excitement on the show. How are you this evening?
This summer, summer 2022, two Latino males that have a passion for gaming are on a mission. In movie theaters this summer, two Latinos and a controller. They search for greatness, the PlayStation 5.
Sounds creepy and exciting. All at the same time, BRAP. Outstanding, buddy.
Sorry, man. Yeah, I'm doing that for my my fellow Latino brethren here.
Yes, Dark Goldblum. Great to have Dark Goldblum here. I can't wait to hear the banter between you two today. I'm hoping also we get to hear from the great gaming.
His
Forte.
mom's got to get off my lap first.
Oh, jeez, it's hard to podcast
I'm just
like
saying,
that. It's hard to podcast like that.
I mean, your mom's been staying on my lap.
I promise, guys, we'll keep this PG-13. I promise you guys. I really, truly do. Listen, we got some we got some special guests. I might as well go right to them, okay? The negativity from the great Dark Optimus. You guys might know him as Goldblum. That's how I certainly do. Dark, it's great to have you back on the show, buddy. And I got to be honest with you, we can't have. I don't think this show's going to be too much positivity anyway. But nonetheless, to have you here tonight is an honor, buddy. Welcome back to the show. How are you tonight?
Good, man. You always ask me at the last minute.
That's true.
You're always like, because you
Very
know
true.
the topics, and you're like, you know what? Maybe I should ask Dark because he's so negative all the fucking time. Like,
so negative. I love it, buddy. It's great. Oh God, it's wonderful. That's absolutely.
But yeah,
wonderful.
man, it's been a while, man. I mean, shoot,
Has.
what? We tried to get something together.
Yeah,
what,
something
a
came
couple
up.
weeks ago.
Right.
And then things come up, and shit happens. Life happens. So, but
It
yeah,
is-
I'm happy to be here tonight.
Well, I appreciate you being here.
Steel
Goldblum.
skills.
Let me say this, but I do want to say something real quick.
Hold on,
go ahead.
Optimus. Would you say life finds a way? I'm throwing that out there.
It's possible.
I would say, life finds a way.
There
That's
you
not
go.
That's not bad.
That's really good.
Shut up, by
I
the way.
forget why I even gave him that nickname. I think he was like
I don't know.
sounding incredibly like Goldblum.
No,
the way
you
he was
said it,
talking
Crap,
one day.
years ago. Remember, he was
Because I
pausing
was on your
more.
podcast. No,
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
on
yeah,
his
yeah,
podcast,
yeah.
and he was all like,
He sounds like
this
Jeff
dude
Goldblum.
Sounds like Jeff Goldblum. It was like
He does,
it was like
yeah.
one
He
of
does.
my like beginning podcasts too. So
Yeah,
and
good
now-
stuff, man.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
takes
Well,
me back.
nonetheless, Goldblum's a great
does take
nickname,
me
buddy.
back,
It's a
too.
fantastic nickname. And I
Chaos
got
Theory says,
Who's that?
It'll Chaos Theory. It's
Chaos Theory. Shout out to Brian Baker, aka Delirium Blades. He's been a Mooch Maniac member for 18 months. 18 months. It's like he's truly a cousin. Thank you so much, Brian Baker. I appreciate that, buddy. My great friend
I
Blades.
swear it does sound like the stream is laggy to me, but
I don't know.
I saw someone said it was too. My internet connection isn't too bad right now.
I don't know. Is there something I'm gonna? Hey, Delirium Blades. No, I'm not hearing it on my end. But if I click and
Streamlabs
listen,
or OBM.
Blade says it sounds all right. He said no lag here. But guys, let me know if you do hear something like a lag or some sort of a double echo of some sort. Let me know, please. But I also have another.
I'm gonna drop out of this and then be back.
All right, I'll bring you back
try
in, Crap.
that.
Yeah, try that out, see what
All right.
happens. All right, and then I got my buddy here. I got OBM, one bad mother. And let me tell you something. OBM really wanted to get you on the show last week. Didn't work out with scheduling. But I got to tell you, I really appreciate you being here tonight. Slightly under the weather, but nonetheless, I really appreciate it because there's so much great stuff to talk to. And you've literally been on fire when it comes to Twitter. So I'm really anxious to get into some of the hard-hitting questions, and I want to hear your opinions on air. OBM, welcome to the show, buddy. It's been too long. How are you this evening?
I am very good. Mooch, well, actually, no, that's a lie. I feel more like the Battlefield beta tonight.
Do you really?
I feel like I've been held together by, like something that MacGyver would have put together with sticks and bubble gum. But and to be transparent with everybody out there, I even tried to call in sick. I'm like, Mooch.
He
so
did.
I really can't.
He did.
I was like, I really am not feeling up to it, man. And then Mooch goes but Halo. And I'm like, oh fuck. All
Yeah.
right. So I'm here.
I go, any OBM is better than no OBM. So I said, listen, just come in, see how you can do it. Isn't that great? And when you call in, you're like, listen, I'm not gonna be able to make it to work today. Your boss is like, could you just come in just for a little while? And then we'll, you know what I mean? Maybe he even buys you a pizza for lunch. And
Which is like
little schmoozing going on
from Office Space.
Absolutely.
You know?
Why do you think why do you think I'm handing out mugs? Dark. Why do you think I'm handing out mugs? Right? I asked OBM for his TPS reports just before the show went live.
It's like, man.
You can email those to me anytime you want.
But he did have the magic word. It was Halo, and that always that's like the bad signal for me.
It really
so
is. It sets them off in a wonderful way. Let me get to the great Sir X Man. Sir X Man, I have a feeling tonight, buddy, you are going to have your work cut out for you. I know usually you like to come on, just enjoy the conversation, maybe throw in a couple of sentences here and there. You are going to have to defend your right tonight, Sir X Man, because I got to be honest with you. There's a lot of things you love that I got a lot of questions to ask you. But how are you tonight, Sir X Man?
Waiting on my Crossfire mug. It's been a month.
Sir X Man, we can barely hear you. You got to come up to the mic.
I said I've been waiting on my Crossfire mug.
I said you didn't get the mug.
Hey,
no.
Are you using some kind of weird mic away from your face or something? Like, you might want to check your connection to make sure it's like a.
I know. It was just fine a minute ago. I have no idea what's going on.
I think if you come up a little bit closer to the mic. But Sir X Man, I sent you your mug about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
I never received it.
I can even show you. I'll take a picture and show you I get a receipt from the U.S. Post Office, by the way. I tell them. I'm like, I want the receipt with all the. I got them.
Oh.
So we'll double check after the show.
I figured out what it is.
Is Mooch like Soldier Boy now?
I figured out what it is. There's a mic in this doggone camera.
All right, well, Sir X-Man, while you fix that, let me get the rest of these intros, by the way.
I fixed it already.
All right, let me get these intros done because we got a lot to talk about tonight. I want to introduce our special guest tonight, the great Strictly Gaming. You guys know this. He's a VIP Mooch Maniac as of tonight. And I got to be honest with you, very good friend of mine. We've been talking behind the scenes. He does an amazing job on Twitter Spaces. He's got his own YouTube channel. To be honest with you,
Twitter Space is the new thing, apparently, man.
It's the newest thing. Crap. It's not even daily. It's like hourly. Okay, and if you're Omar from last week who was on the show, he does it from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. Shout out to Omar. Strictly, listen, man, outstanding to have you with us tonight. I first met you through Persona and Bari, but by the way, I saw Bari in the chat. I didn't see Persona yet, but I'm also troubleshooting here, so if Persona's here, I apologize. But shout out to Bari. Strictly, great to have you on the show for the first time, buddy. How are you this evening?
Man, I am doing lovely, man. Humbled to be on your show. What is up, chat? What is up, people? You know we're here to talk these games. Y'all know what it's about, man.
Yep.
Y'all already know. Y'all hear me talk on Spaces. You know I want smoke. I want them conversations. Let's get it.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about. And honestly, the first time I was on What's Up PlayStation with Bari and Persona, there's Persona right there. And he's like, I saw you in the chat, Strictly, right? And I hadn't known you at the time. And I said, you had read, you sent the super chat in or something to the show. And Persona's like, that's my boy right there. And he goes, we just call him Strictly, period. Just Strictly. And I said, that might be one of the best names I've ever seen. And I love it. I love it for gaming. I love it for podcasting. It's absolutely perfect for everything. So Strictly, we're going to get into it tonight. I'm going to start with OBM. And Strictly, by the way, feel free to chime in when you want to, by the way, because we are going to discuss a lot of the hot subjects that you've been doing on Spaces and a lot of the hot subjects that have been going on Twitter overall. But OBM, my question for you is this. I want to get the good. We'll get the good, and then we'll get the... There's no bad. There's just good, and then there's questions, okay? So... Okay. Halo Infinite's flight test, okay, or they want to call it the Insider, whatever we want to call last week's with the big team battle, etc. I played a good amount, played with the great BRAP, played with a bunch of people, crap as well. And Halo Infinite's tech test I thought was very, very good as far as performance. I think if one more person tweets out or says that, you know, that Halo's running smooth, okay, running smooth and gameplay being good, I think is very important. But my question for you is two things, OBM. Did you enjoy what you played? Which we all kind of know the answer. But my other question for you is, there's seemingly, it's Halo, right? Now, I understand people go, COD is COD, Battlefield's Battlefield, Halo's Halo. That's a very good stance. But here we are, where Call of Duty comes out every year. Now, hear me out, guys. Please, this is important for the audience, too. Call of Duty comes out every single year. I am on record as saying I like Call of Duty, and I play it and I buy it every single year. Okay, So what do they say? Keep the same energy. So Halo now hasn't been released since 2015. And I played, and you guys know from CrossFire's weeks back, I've been playing a bunch of Halo. I had a footage here. Went and played a lot of Halo 5 multiplayer. And as much as I agree with everybody online, Halo Infinite feels much smoother, more responsive, a lot more fun to play. It does. It really does. As far as the game mechanics and the fluidity of the game, it feels phenomenal. But here's the thing. The game, it's 6 years. It's been 6 years. And I got to tell you, except for the fluidity and the mechanics being a bit better, it just feels like Halo 5 multiplayer. And I see everybody going, well, I'm dropping everything. I'm selling everything. I'm selling my PlayStation. I'm selling my Switch. I'm selling my house. I'm playing Halo all year. And I'm like, what am I missing? Why? If you love Halo this much and Halo Infinite's tech test was this impressive, why aren't you playing Halo 5 multiplayer? It's pretty much the same thing, but it has a couple of the, ground pound. It has the punch. It's a little slower.
It's really not.
Well, and now, Dark, hold on, Dark. I want you to get in there, but I got to hear OBM's point because OBM has been, I got to tell you, I hear more positive feedback from Halo from OBM than 343. So I want to hear, right? I do. OBM, where's the disconnect for me?
Yeah, full transparency. Halo is my favorite franchise. It's honestly the number one reason.
Which is great. It's a good one to have as your favorite franchise, by the way.
Yeah. But I want to be transparent about it because from where I'm coming from, obviously,
understood.
They're not trying to win me over, right?
No,
that's the thing. Like they knew I was here.
They got you.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Me, right.
Listen, if if The Last of Us 10 comes out, they got me. I get it. Right? I'm with you. I get it. Go ahead.
But so here's the thing I'd like to bring up though. So I've been being a Halo guy for all these years, being in part of the community for all these years. The one thing that I have to admit, being part of this Halo community, the Halo community is probably the most toxic community in gaming.
You think so?
Yeah, if you go to a Halo Waypoint, they freaking all they do. By the way, any 343 devs listening, I'm sorry. I know I've had my share of it as well over the years. The ironic thing is, as passionate as Halo fans are, they are probably the biggest complainers about their own franchise. At least amongst themselves. At least to 343 in the forums, that kind of thing. And there's been a split in the base for really since Halo 5 came out. And even if you went back and look last year to see what are Xbox gamers playing, there's basically almost an even split when you look at Halo. Like it's down the list, and half the people are playing MCC, half of them are playing Halo 5. I am somebody who's put in over 2,000 hours of Halo 5, so I don't like to call myself an expert in anything, but if there's any game that I'm going to have a real good feel of, I think that's probably the one.
Well, I would say your credentials. You've stated your credentials. This is why we called you to the stand. Now we want to know what is it we're missing from someone like me. I like Halo. I don't love it as much as you do. What am I missing that everyone's been so excited about?
Yeah, so like getting back to it. The reason why I set that all up is because, there has been this split. And what I've noticed coming back to the game is that this game has brought both bases back together. And the reason why I think it does take a lot of the foundation of what was good, that what people really liked in Halo 3 that left in Halo 5, like the focus on the sandbox, like the fact that weird things can happen, the fact that you can pick up a lot of different weapons and they're useful on there. It took that foundation and it's actually evolved it. Okay. So when they rebuilt the engine, they've done some things with the physics, and you can really feel it. If you ever had a chance to grab the grapple hook, you can really feel it with that. Like I've used a lot of grapple hooks in other games. And this doesn't feel like it's all in the nuances. Like it's the little things that feels like you're on a string. Like if you're hooked on a vehicle and you run into a wall, like it will actually factor in the momentum, the distance. Like there's some really nuanced things that make a big difference in there. So it is really hard to articulate. And I think that's the one, I get what you're saying, because I think on the surface, it does seem like more Halo. This is I don't even want to go back to 5. Like I at this point in time, like though
that's
I
fair.
All those, yeah. So I guess what I would say is that like the Halo 5 sandbox and the gameplay is very flat. It's not very dynamic compared to this. I really like Halo 5, but a lot of it has to do with the additional layer of physics they have, the better balancing they have, the mechanics are just they just feel better. So yeah, to me it's a big step up, but it's in a lot of little areas, and that's the hard part that I think the hard part to convey to like the general, the Halo casual fan, like the one that, comes in and then plays for a little bit and then, takes off until the next game comes 6 years later. I can understand like why somebody who's not been playing it goes, oh yeah, this kind of looks, because it does. It really looks.
It's not that I haven't been playing it, and OBM, I you know what's funny? I do hear you, and I'm glad as you were saying this. Shout out to Brian Baker, aka Delirium Blades, in the chat. He says, when us, and I don't want to put words in his mouth here. Hold on, he says it right here. And I think it's interesting. He said something along the lines of like, Halo is like playing Unreal Tournament in 2004. That game isn't fun anymore. Well, he's saying that, but he's also, I think Blades is also, he is a bit of a fan of Halo. He's saying that the old hats, and we had this talk last week with, pardon me, Xbot. He said that the old Halo community is maybe in a sense that what I personally think is what we're hearing is excited, a lot of them. And I'm wondering if the new age folks are going to take to it. A lot of people we're seeing on Twitter, and I think you guys, and I want to open it up to the panel here, but think about all the tweets that you've read over the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks when we've had this flight, right? You've seen a lot of people going, finally, it's back. This is what I like. This is what it is. Halo's back. But what's funny is, and again, I don't like to use small census, a small census being like my kids and what their friends, they're not talking about Halo. Like, they're not excited about Halo. That's just, is it just the old hats that are kind of excited about this? Or is this going to really open up to the youth?
It's the fanboys.
No, because for me,
did you say strictly?
It's the fanboys. Like, I'm just being honest. And this is the thing. Halo is not bad. Like, I said it was decent, like it was solid, but people making it seem like it's just the best thing since sliced bread. My G. Nah, bro, number one, there's and I know people been telling me, man, I've been kind of, I put my opinions on it with the TTK and all of that stuff with Halo Infinite, man, or not, the Halo Infinite multiplayer, but man, honestly, bro, like, it's not, I don't see the big deal about it. Like, it's fun to play, but it's nothing like I gotta be like, yo, I can't wait for Halo. I can't wait for Halo Infinite multiplayer. I can't wait to hop on it on Friday night. Like, yo, listen, bro, it ain't even all that for to be honest. If you like the game, cool. Yeah. But I think a lot of them were just the fanboys wanting it to be great, and they're gonna refuse to let it fail because they won't necessarily hold them accountable for putting out a dope game. I think Strictly makes, and Dark, I'm gonna give you the mic, but Strictly made a good point there. That's kind of almost where I'm at. I give it credit. It's a well made game. It feels good, but there's nothing where I'm like, I can't wait to play Metroid Dread, right? A game that hasn't been around for a very long time, a Metroid game. Can't wait to play that game. Far Cry, I understand that it's the same formula, got it. But like, I wanted to play like Halo. I'm not like, after playing a few rounds, I'm like, okay, this is what it's what I'm accustomed to. Just a little bit smoother controls. It's not something that I'm like antsy. Like, oh my god, is it December 8th yet? I can't wait to play 85,000 more rounds of the same looking board in the woods. Running around with a hammer. It really kind of slow and not really. I don't know. I just. Where is the excitement, Goldblum? Where am I missing? And I think that I appreciate OBM, by the way, because OBM gave a good point from that community that he's in, and he's part of that old hat, which I respect. But where is it, Goldblum, that maybe you could talk someone like me and Strictly to get us hyped up for a Friday night of Halo again, or weekly?
I'm not gonna get you hyped up. I'm gonna down this thing.
I'm not gonna do it.
I'm gonna douse it in fucking gasoline, dude.
Oh man!
I mean, for me personally, like, I'm an old school Halo fan.
Absolutely.
Like, I love Halo 1, 2, 3. I loved 4, not so much 5. And then I get to, I liked 5's multiplayer and stuff like that. I mean, it was okay.
It was a good multiplayer, sure.
It was a good multiplayer.
Yeah.
But then I get to Halo Infinite, and like, it's fun with friends. Don't get me wrong, it's fun with friends. It definitely is. But my true testament is playing by myself, because sometimes you can't get with friends and play with friends. Sometimes you got to play with randoms. So there's times where you're gonna have to play with randoms, and when I'm playing with randoms, it's not fun. It's not fun for me. Like, and I know we're gonna be talking about it later, but Battlefield, like, that's fun. Like, when I'm playing just by myself, And this doesn't do anything for me at all. It just it feels like they tried to go way too far back to Halo, like Halo 3, and not trying to innovate on anything that was
Dark.
previous.
That's and OBM. I want to give you a chance because you know what I really do. You are our resident Halo guy, especially with Xbot not here tonight. You know, there's a few people that are saying it in the chat, and I'll get to those in a moment here, guys. I'll get to the super chats in a second here, but I want to just say that, like, and I apologize. I'm just going to go ahead and just get rid of that person. And so my point being is, I really want to make a point, OBM, to say, what is capture the flag? I mean, me and BRAP were playing, and I'm like, I felt like Dark Goldblum saying, I feel like we were they're rekindling that
Capture
love
the flag.
for the youth, the not the youth, pardon me, the
youths,
hardcore Halo fans from ages back. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stop you, OBM. I am not going to say that. No, I'm not going to stop your excitement. I'm not. That's just, listen, that's the one thing that you learn in these, and strictly you'll appreciate this, right? In these Twitter spaces and on YouTube, is like, I'm not going to go ahead and rain on your parade. I'm just sitting here and I'm curious, right? And there's a gentleman here that RRD says, Mooch. Now, here's what he says. Maybe it's just not your kind of game, and that's fine. But the overwhelming amount of people on social media seem to disagree in terms of people who actually played it. First of all, RRD, I did play it. I played it with people on the panel. I played it for a while, okay? My point being is that it's not that I didn't enjoy it. I have much respect for what they did in the build. It feels very good. But to sit there and say, I'm going to put down the other games, the other first-person shooters this holiday and strictly play, and you see everybody that's kind of doing it, it almost seems like it's a push. OBM, can you see that just for, if I get, and I try to do that on the show. When you speak, I take a step out of the announcing spot, I sit back and I listen. And if you just were to sit back and watch people, they're like, oh my God, I had so much fun on Halo. Watch. They throw a bomb on the vehicle. The vehicle went up into the air, and then the grappling hook, which still looks like just a line, comes out of his arm, and then you just gravitate with the flying vehicle to the other side of the map. I mean, you know, that those kind of physics and stuff, that's not necessarily that exciting at this point in time in 2021. I just think this was really, I think you're seeing a lot of old school, like, Halo fans coming out of the woodwork saying, yeah, you know what? You gave us a nice fresh coat of paint on this bad boy. I'm excited, and I'm okay with that. But I'm just saying, I don't see this being revolutionary. Do you see my point at all, or am I just, it's just not adding up?
No, so here's the thing. There's a lot of things going through my mind. I'm going to just try to get to the point on some of them. But the reason why people are excited about Halo, that first of all, the energy that I felt like playing in different parties and a lot of people coming back that I hadn't played with or that I was playing with for the first time really was real, at least where I was. And that's anecdotal, but it was from different groups. Like I said, some Halo 5, some were CE, some were like the classics. And then, some groups that just really hadn't ever been Halo fans. They were just joining in because it was the thing people were talking about. And again, the energy I felt was real in the game. The thing I would focus on though is that like Halo has a very different niche in terms of first-person shooters. If you're into the battlefield, then if you're in the battlefield, then if that is your main thing, or Call of Duty is your main thing, and I like those games, by the way. I played a good amount of both of those in the last couple of years. But Halo fits a niche that really no other first-person shooter fits. And so when it's not right, when it's not good, it feels like it almost feels like there's a missing genre, a subgenre in first-person shooters. And so when people are saying it's back, it's because it's really bringing back that genre. Now, is that saying that, hey, it's going to be bigger than Call of Duty or bigger than Battle Royale? No, but what it's saying is that
no. And I don't care if it's bigger than that. That's not the point here. Right. It's not about is Halo going to sell or do better on Game Pass. That's not the conversation at all. And I want to say shout out to Jeff Grubb. Jeff says it's not a conspiracy. Jeff, I just typed this to him. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm not going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. I'm just saying it feels pushed a bit. It feels pushed. It's like everyone's saying
because they're excited.
That's fine.
For real.
That's fine. The excitement is fantastic, but it's like. But then I say, like, if you said to me, "Hey, Mooch, you got to check out this movie," and I go, "Why?" And you have this excitement just bursting out of you. When you tell me this movie's amazing, it generally has a hook or an actor or something in it that is going to lure me to go, "Wow, that's different than the other 4,000 movies." And when I'm watching the clips that people are like, I had so much fun. And like you said, when I played with friends, a lot of fun. I ask everybody, and I implore you guys in the chat, when you think about the game Halo Infinite that you played on the flight, okay, if you were not playing with your friends, and I play, and you guys will see it in a little while. I'm gonna have Call of Duty Warzone. I play it with friends. I have a blast, but I also play it solo, and I love it. Like, I genuinely love it. And OBM said it himself. Is Halo Infinite the game you want to play all by yourself? That's when you say, is this game unbelievable, right? Like, I play. Listen,
with my friends.
Well,
I do both.
If you see OBM, you are a true fan. So I respect that.
Man, that said that.
But
yeah, but
Sir X-Man, you said it. I think you both said it. You both said you play solo.
How does it sound? How do I sound now?
You good, Sir X-Man? You are crystal. You're crystal.
Way better.
You sound like you're next to your mic.
I had to go in. No, it's funny. I had to go into the OBS and whatever this stuff is. Never mind. But let me give you my perspective on Halo because I played it. You ready for this?
Go ahead, Sir X-Man.
I love Capture the Flag. It's my thing. I like the small conquest 4v4. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it Sunday because it was like big map with that many people with everybody either sniping or because it was Slayer. It was a big map Slayer.
Right.
So it's like you couldn't get a chance to do anything. You couldn't get a chance to kill anybody. It was like just utter chaos. They need to work on that. They need to work on the time to kill because some people you shoot at and they don't die. Some people can kill you like in an instant. Some people can kill you in an instant. I mean, like, really? My shield just got knocked down and I'm dead.
Sir X-Man, it sounds like you just need to get good. All right, keep going.
Oh, OBM. Oh man.
It's not even that because I mentioned the TTK was a little bit too long. Like and I'm not saying that it needs to be like Call of Duty or Battlefield short or anything like that.
No.
But I feel like Destiny is like a perfect TTK for Halo because that was part of it. That was
the
part of
beginning
the
of Destiny. It wasn't though, but they fixed all that.
No, you'll ruin Halo that way. No, Halo's TTK is they actually have videos on it. It's actually a little bit shorter than Halo 3's. So
yeah. I mean, people have been saying that, but it's still too long. Like by the time
you seem like that for me. Yeah,
that's Halo though. That because see, that's what creates that dance with Halo. And that's what makes Halo a lot different. The whole thing about the sandbox, the team play, all that stuff, it doesn't work if it has a short TTK. So if you start doing that, you start making it more like Call of Duty, and that's just. Then it's just a different game. Then it's just like a lot of the other games. So this is where it really stands out.
It was crossplay also. So remember, PC people can have a higher frame rate than us and get a faster kill than us. It does make a difference. They need to work on that so it's balanced on both sides.
Yeah, I respect it being longer. Like again, it should be a longer TTK because it's Halo. I'm just saying, like right now, it's just a little bit too long because what happens is, right, the power weapons they spawn and stuff like that, but the assault rifle that you spawn with is so weak compared to everything.
It never used to be that weak.
It's so weak. It's so weak compared to everything else. So I can't necessarily control.
I've actually heard that from a
gunfight or not, bro.
Yeah, I've heard that from a few people.
I had a DMR, and DMRs are some really lethal weapons. It didn't do nothing to some of them people. And I know I was hitting them in body and head. And it's like, come on now. You have to even it out. And my friends told me that snipers, it takes like 2 or 3 headshots to kill somebody now.
It don't. I ain't gonna say that it don't. Because I was
saying for some people.
Some people wasn't making headshots. They were shooting them in the ankle or something.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because I ain't saying that because headshots was 1-shot kill when you had a sniper. But you know what I'm saying? Again, that's like power weapons and stuff like that. But they spawn and people automatically know where they are, and you can't necessarily control your next gunfight because you can't get a power weapon. And then the grapple is dope, but you got to pick it up. So you can't even really grapple. You know what I'm saying? So there's some gameplay design elements that I don't really like. And that's why I say the game may not be for me personally. But for the most part, the game is solid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. But
you see people on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? And I think what Mooch is alluding to is you see people on Twitter, like I put a post up about the TTK being too long. And there was like 1 million Xbox fans that came in there going crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fam, I just mentioned the TTK acting like I called it trash or something. you know, so they were just like super mad at it or whatever. And this is what we're talking about. They're not going to, no matter what happens, no matter how this game launches, they're not going to allow it to fail regardless of how it is.
That's what it feels like.
And I talked about the
And that's-
PC aspect of the game because I played it in triple screen on the PC. It was optimized perfectly.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's very,
They did a perfect job on the PC.
It's easy to be like in OBM, and I tend to side just a little bit more with Strictly on this, just because like everybody was like, "Wow, Halo," and I'm sitting there and I'm like, guys, like if you like this, like why aren't you playing Halo 5? Everyone said all the way until all the way, guys.
It's different than Halo 5. It's a sandbox game. Halo 5 wasn't a sandbox game. Halo 5, and this is the other thing too.
Okay.
I was listening to you guys about the TT kill. Really, there's actually there's videos that show the TT kill is actually it's a Halo-esque TT kill.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is the auto aim or the aim assist is lowered a little bit. So I think for the average person, it's going to take a little bit of adjusting.
That's fine.
Which I think
that's
fine.
But
What they've done though, this is a much more dynamic game than Halo 5. And again, I played over 2,000 hours in that game. It was like a game that I love playing. But you know, the starting weapon you started with in Halo 5, that's the only weapon you really need to pick up on the map, and you would be fine with it. And you know, other than going for rockets or sniper, you never really tried to go out of position to try to grab something else that was just a slight variation of what you already had.
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing this really does bring back is that dynamic gameplay where like different weapons have different different situations that they're better in, and different play styles are going to require you to try to grab different types of equipment and things like that. And it's a much more diverse sandbox. And it's really hard to explain to somebody on the surface. And again, on the surface, this may not be for everybody. It's still going to have a higher
gave me a feel of Halo 2. It gave me a feel of Halo 2 and Halo 3.
The classic, the classic Bungie's were, and that's been missing. It's not been, none of 343's games since they took over the franchise have been as dynamic, for better or for worse. And some people don't like dynamic. Some people like to just say, I got the weapon I need to spawn with. It kills people really fast. That's what I want. And that's Call of Duty. That's why you go to something like that. But what makes this appealing to people is just that variety. Like even in a 4v4 match, which the previous week I played a lot of that, and there's just a lot of diversity from game to game, and it does feel like a sport in that regard. Like if you ever watch like an NBA game,
you got to admit there is one gun in there that was just absolutely awesome. It was that knife gun, the new gun.
Oh yeah,
the knife Oh my God, that gun is absolutely incredible. I've never seen a gun like that in the game.
I want to get BRAPs. Yeah, I want to get BRAPs. I want to also welcome the great gaming Forte is here. Forte, please do chime in on Halo. I know you played a lot of it, but go ahead, BRAP, take the mic.
No, great points all around.
Agreed.
I think that I'll just give my perspective. I think that this is the best, after playing this last weekend's flight, I think this is the best multiplayer game that 343 Eyes put out. I think they, as OBM said, the Halo community's toxic. I wouldn't say they're toxic as much as they are very demanding per se.
Yeah, that's okay though. Listen, demanding's not bad.
They don't even want sprint. Like if they could have it there,
they don't want sprint.
We'd be like walking around like we have, like Master Chief is, his boots are stuck in molasses. But I'll say this, like it very much goes back to the roots of Halo, Halo 1, Halo 2 for me. And I think if you're a Halo fan, you're probably gonna love this game. This game may pick up some new players for things that OBM mentioned. Me personally though, and I got roasted for saying this on Twitter, which is crazy. Because I wasn't like, pom-pomming the whole thing.
Yeah, you weren't.
Said, look,
goo goo gaga for it.
Yeah, it's not for me anymore. Like I graduated from Halo. I spent so much time because I was at Xbox Live beta tester. I want to throw that out there.
No one had any idea.
But I played.
Wow,
I played
never
Halo.
knew that. Wow.
Yeah, I played. See, Mooch. Someone didn't know that.
Dude, I know already. I was 6 months.
Oh, you knew? Okay. That's
I was right there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's, you know, I played so much competitive Halo. I was part of an Xbox Live clan that we used to do ladder matches and tournaments in Halo 2, more specifically Halo 2. And before there was Xbox Live, we used to do virtual LAN, which was through Xbox Connect. And, you know, I played so much of Halo that for me, like, I recognize that this is a good multiplayer, but I've outgrown that. Like, that experience just doesn't resonate with me, doesn't get me excited. I had more fun just chatting with people in chat than I did actually playing the game itself. Yeah. And that's a me problem. Like, I recognize that. So there are some of us out there, and don't look at us funny, because Onimus is one of them, that kind of moved on. Like, when you're a little kid, Mooch, what did you want? You wanted McDonald's.
Absolutely.
Right? But now that you got a couple dollars in your pocket, you know, you went to Ruth Chris, you've had that experience, right? You've graduated.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll even say, you know, that, and I like the way you put that. You put it very elegantly there, BRAP. But, you know, and OBM makes a good point. I want to ask Forte. Forte, I don't know if you're, I see you're muted, so I don't know if you, it's Forte's here.
By the way, Forte's late because of me.
So well, that's okay. That's all right. That's okay. It's because it's always Brad's fault.
No, he really is.
But Forte,
no, he really is.
Forte, guys, by the way, the super chats, I'm going to read all of them before we go to the next one, because I know these all pertain to Halo, so any Halo super chats I'm going to be reading before we go to the next subject. But Forte, and I want to hear Crap, too, because Crap played with BRAP and myself and Worrywart. So, Forte, what was your take on the flight? What did you think? I mean, was it good? Yes, right? Because it feels better. We all know that. Everyone said that 1,000 times. But is this a game where you could see putting in, like, hundreds of hours because it's Halo's back, or are you like, you know, I'll play it occasionally as I get a friend invite?
No, I think for the person that enjoys sci-fi arena shooters, Halo is exactly what you want it to be. It's like, I think OBM said it perfectly. Halo has never been, I mean, outside, you know, Halo's kind of ushered in the console shooter and stuff. That's kind of where everybody kind of started at. And then it kind of evolved when stuff like, you know, Modern Warfare came out for Call of Duty. That's when you saw the divide kind of happen with where Halo was going and where we ended up being with future FPS and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Halo hasn't been the same since pretty much Halo 3. There's been a lot of iterations. You know, they tried to speed up a lot of stuff when it came to Reach.
Yes.
Reach was one of those games where that was like the first iteration of them trying to speed up Halo to make it more Call of Duty-ish and stuff. They tried to go even further with that with Halo 4, and universally, a lot of people just couldn't stand that. And then they tried to scale that back with Halo 5 and everything. There's been a lot of iterations of where they tried to go with Halo. Whereas it was just like this divide, like he talked about in the community. Like, you have people that just love the original formula that Bungie created when it came to that. And then you have the people that just love the way that they kind of iterated on that in their own manner when it came to Halo 5. Yeah. But for me, I play Halo just because it's a sandbox that you can pretty much do anything inside of. And it's more therapeutic to me because I fall more. The only type of military style shooters that I truly love is Battlefield. Like I was talking to Slow-Mo about this the other day, and we talked about it on DPS. I agree with you to an extent. Halo is the type of game that I'm gonna play predominantly when I'm in a group with friends because I enjoy. That's the type of game that I like to play in groups with friends. Where Battlefield, I can jump into a conquest game with just random people, and it's just because stupid stuff can happen in the game, and that's just kind of the way that I have kind of evolved as a gamer.
Right.
As of when I was younger,
but
Halo,
Forte,
I would just stay in there all the time.
I just want to go.
Also, but the other thing is, I also have another game that kind of fills that void.
Right, and it's Destiny.
Kind of left open. And that was kind of and I always tell people I felt like Destiny was the natural evolution to what Halo could have been if they wanted to be in that direction. Right. So it depends on the type of games you want. I see a lot of people that play Destiny play Halo, and those are the people that love exactly what they're actually doing with it. And I see the same people that play Splitgate. People that play games like that, they love what they're doing in Halo because they love that type of gameplay. They like that arena style, sci-fi type shooter. If you're a person that plays Call of Duty and stuff, and you play Battlefield, you really aren't that interested. You may jump in, like you said, with your friends to play games like Halo,
right?
But being something that you're going to main consistently, I don't know if that's going to be the case. But I do think, and I do believe in the people that say, "Yo, this is legit." I don't think that they're like pondering to the scheme. I played it and I was like, "Yo, this is way better." That I actually thought 343 was. Well, I think
Forte, you said exactly a lot of how I feel, and I think you did it again very respectfully, and you also did it with a dash of PR in there. And you know the thing about it is I think everyone doesn't. They may not get. Don't get me wrong. No, we've all done that, Forte. Yes.
Can I want to say something real quick because I think people are they're getting upset because they think that I called Halo McDonald's. No, it's an analogy.
Yeah, no.
Of you move on. That at the end of the day, people move on from things. It was a representation of taste, right?
Right.
And that was probably the easiest analogy to use. And I was trying to be clever like Mooch and use a food analogy. So I don't know why people are upset. I mean, just
Perhaps not good at food analogies. Just
I mean, clearly I'm not as good as Mooch at food
clearly, right?
But,
BRAP made a point there.
Somehow people are taking that I play COD all the time, and I don't play Call of Duty.
No, he really doesn't. No,
I don't. I actually prefer other first-person shooters. The only COD game I play is Warzone, but I would prefer other things like PUBG. I'd prefer other things like the Titanfall multiplayer. I prefer other things like Apex Legends. So no, I'm not a COD player. Just to throw that out there. So I don't know where people.
I like
thing from.
You guys know this. I say it week in and week out. I like Call of Duty. I'm me and 800 million other people. Everyone's like, I hate COD. I'll take 3 copies. So that's fine. But at the same time, let me read a couple super chats here, and then I think that you guys are getting the gist. And guys in the chat, by the way, you got to understand where I'm coming from. Okay, I think the game played very well. My question for you guys, and maybe it's rhetorical right now because it's too early to say. Yes, I realize on December 8th, everyone's going to be playing it. Everyone's going to be streaming it. Heck, I might even be streaming it. My point being is that because everybody wants something new, right? Oh, Halo's back. We're streaming. But my question is that same big number on December 8th going to be there on February 8th of 2022? That's where I question it because I think after you play Capture the Flag, which, by the way, we were so happy that we didn't have to play Capture the Flag for so many years. After you go back to playing that for so long and you're done with all the goofy semantics of the physics and the this and that, and it's like, look, I rappelled up the wall when someone knocked me out. I mean, after you do that a couple of times, it's like the hardcore Halo will remain there. They'll never leave. They will never leave, and this conversation is moot. It doesn't even exist. My point being is for the people that are like, wow, whoa, it's back, baby. And I'm like, you're not going to play this for 6 months straight, man. You're just not. And it's like, because these are the same people that are like, give me the latest and greatest. I want the latest and greatest. This is not the latest and greatest. This is what I think Halo fans have always been asking for. And you heard OBM say it. He's part of the vast community. And this is what they've been asking for. And you know what? Good for those Halo fans. I just don't think it's exactly what we're seeing represented on social media. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, this is it. Like you see people, they're like, I'm putting everything else away. You know what I mean? I'm not even going to read a book again. Halo's back, baby. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm not reading.
Like that. I mean, OBM is done reading. You know what I mean? I'm concerned for OBM, but
but Mooch,
this is what you're missing.
But OBM's a super fan though. Like he's like,
listen, that's fine.
Real quick, Brad. Real quick.
I get OBM wanting. He's, and that's why I wanted OBM to be here.
I think it's great.
This is how Halo has always been. People get it, they play it, they love it. Okay, right. But they take time out and they play other games. But they will always come back and play Halo. Because it's gonna always be there. Friends get together and say, right. People get together and say, let's go play Halo for a while. Next thing you know, it's 6-7 hours later.
That's probably the best way to play.
I haven't heard people say that. I haven't heard
always been like that.
Go ahead, Crab.
I haven't heard people say that since Halo 3, to be honest with you. So
people still go back and play Halo 5.
No, nobody. There was 112 people in that game last week.
That's because they knew this was coming out.
No, 112 people. Come on. We saw Battlefield 4 bump up to thousands and thousands of people when the new Battlefield got announced out there. I didn't see anybody, piss themselves to go play Halo 5. First of all, I want to say, 6 years, $500 million budget, and they finally get a competent shooter that looks almost like an Xbox 360 game out. Yeah, I mean, I think that's not something that I would personally celebrate. But they went out there and they did that. I like the TTK is bad. Also, I also wanted to point out that I felt like
Y'all
for
gonna
them,
leave that
for
TTK
them,
alone in that game.
it's
Y'all gonna leave
extremely
that
long.
alone.
Well, listen.
I actually did testing on that because I'm making a video on it, and that TTK ain't as bad as y'all think it is.
Well, I also want to point out that for a game that's trying to update itself, like give people that get assists, give them a kill. Why not update it to where people don't feel frustrated all the time over that, because you're unloading a clip and most of the time you're not going to kill somebody with one clip, and so somebody that's team firing with you is going to get that kill. I saw it happen to BRAP. Dude gets 15 assists a game.
I hate that.
I got 15 assists was nuts.
I brought
I was playing with Bottomus.
I mean, not only is that frustrating, and that's not going to keep people engaged. You also have the frustration of, how the hell does that XP system work, and how the hell are people not going to get tired of that? Right? Like, that XP system is ridiculous. Like, you play 20, 30 matches and I was like a level 2 or 3 or something. It was like ridiculous. Like, I don't see how people aren't going to stick around with that. Forced to buy into a battle pass and only do those things specifically to
no one's talking about that. No one's talking about that.
That's not how these games
It's just
work,
it feels great, crap. It feels great.
You can do that stuff. Look, and I'll give you a good example. Call of Duties, right? You can get all the different things that you can do, but you also just get a shit ton of XP for winning, for getting kills, for doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, you get headshots and you get like bonuses for doing that stuff too.
Yeah.
But you should always get XP for just playing the game or winning or playing the objectives, because you're going to see people running around with the pistol, get 5 pistol kills this round. They're not going to play the objective. They're going to run around trying to get 5 fucking pistol kills. That's not a good game. That's not fun.
Crap, you're
and that's not
explaining Battlefield.
That's not, dude. I don't like Battlefield either. I think Battlefield sucks.
But you're explaining how Battlefield does it.
Battlefield might be the worst game I've ever seen in my life. I've played it almost every Battlefield.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. Let's not go to Battlefield yet.
Yeah.
Don't go to Battlefield.
I'm just saying. Okay, so Halo. I mean, just getting back to it, they're so proud of the multiplayer, and you got this big contingent of people because Halo wasn't really a multiplayer game at first. It was a single player game, and they're just so afraid. That's what I want to see. I want to see the single player stuff, which they seem to be hiding away for some unknown reason. So, I hope that, some of those thousands of developers and $500 million or whatever it is they spent can be well crafted into something of a coherent single player aspect of the game. But again, I also want to point out that I do think I'll give it some props. I'll say, I think that this Halo will be quote unquote announced as the largest players ever at a launch of a Halo game. But I also think come February or March, it's going to be significantly less because people are going to want to try it. It's free.
Right.
And then they're going to go back to the other free games, which are all BR games.
Right. And it's funny because, it's funny. Everyone says he has an agenda. They're like, well, Dr. Disrespect, right? He said Halo needs he said like a BR. I've said this a number of times on the show,
too. Battle Royale fan, though.
But that's the thing, though. He's a Battle Royale fan. You know who else is? The billions of people on Fortnite and Warzone. I mean, the thing about it is it's not just one guy saying that. I've been saying it. If you guys don't like Battle Royale, fine. I'm throwing out the olive branch. What I'm saying is it needs a new mode. Here they are. They're like, try our new game. Play a mode from 1999. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't want to play Capture the Flag. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the. Do you notice that even in Call of Duty now, you can go into quick play and they have all the modes listed there, and you can check off what you want to play and what you don't. I don't want to play. How many more times do I have to play Domination? Stop.
I also want to point out,
I think so old. And crap, one more point, and then I'll give you the mic. But even Call of Duty right now, Call of Duty Vanguard right now even has Champion Hill, right? It's coming out in Vanguard. I understand everybody. Oh, it's Call of Duty. It's going to be terrible. Again, all right, it's going to be horrible. Again, 800 million people are going to buy it. But the thing about it is that they at least are trying a new mode. What Champion Hill brings is the speed and quickness, if you will, of what Warzone provides, but it does it in a very, very fast 2v2 kind of NCAA type of bracket way. And it's new, it's innovative. Is it going to be hot and awesome for a long time? I don't know. But it's new, it's innovative, and I think it's something genuine. It's different. I don't mind putting my money down on the table for that. And shout out to Rock Dog who's in the chat. He goes, Mooch and crap hating on hate. Listen, it's not hate, guys. It's actually like that's the thing, I said, and that's the same thing I was talking. Shout out to Jeff Grubb who's here. I really appreciate him being in the chat. It's not hate, it's questions. And when the problem is you can't even ask a question. Here's the thing I'm saying, though, and I think it's very interesting. Even people on Twitter, they'll write, Well, I tried out the Halo Infinite tech test, ran really well. Didn't care, so I didn't, wasn't exactly what I think, blah, blah. And then at the end, they're like, but I want to reiterate how well it played and how this and that, and it's like, you say how well it is. Have you seen people tweet how great the Halo beta, the Halo Infinite tech test was? Within 20 minutes, somebody who even has like 10 followers has like 4,000 likes. You know what I mean? It's like everyone just does that. They're like, I didn't really care for it so much, but it was really great.
Well,
like, and it's like, all right, listen, is it genuine?
I got one more thing for you.
Is it genuine? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It absolutely is, but I know Crap wanted to say something.
Is.
So I'll let Crap go, but I do want to say one more thing before I sign off on the Halo topic. So,
yes.
But I'll let you go, Crap. Sorry about that.
No, I just want to say, like, I think a Halo when it originally came out was something genre defining. It was great, but again, 20 years have passed and it's just not the thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's like as much as like maybe I don't even want to admit it, like BR is the thing and there's these other games and stuff that just are doing it to a degree that like really kind of speaks to the people. And not only that, but I'm going to use this as like, listen, Battlefield and Call of Duty are available on 130 million different other consoles that Halo's not on. So, of course, Halo's not really going to stand a chance when it comes to being bigger. And it's not really about that because it could be okay, but it's just like, look at Splitgate. Everybody hyped that up. It had 10 million players, and now like it's back to like nobody talks about that game.
Yeah.
I think it's the same type of situation. It's like that gameplay and that kind of style. It appeals to a certain type of gamer. If you have fun with it and you enjoy it,
absolutely,
I guess that's
have
really
fun
all
with
that
it.
matters. For sure, have fun with it.
That's what I'm questioning. I'm just questioning like that whole thing you just said. Everyone's talking about Halo. Halo on December 8th through January 8th is going to be a huge deal. I get that. Don't come on the channel and be like, I told you Mooch it was going to be big. Of course it's going to be big in December. I mean, it's the only game that launches that month, and it's Halo. I'm not belittling Halo.
Yeah, like I played it with you guys. I played it with you and BRAP and the guys just to see how it was. But when it comes to the actual game, even though I have
take my good hand or whatever.
I know, right?
Take my strong hand.
Yeah. So like, I played it just to try it out so we could talk about it. And but I've been very upfront about it. I'm more of the campaign person.
Yeah.
And I played through every.
That's what I
want to
play.
I played through every one of them co-op, so yeah, I'm not bothering to download the game until it's complete in terms of having the features that every other Halo has had, which the co-op is part of that for me. So I'm hoping that they get that in there within the first 3-6 months or whatever they said it's going to be, and hopefully it's good. Especially given that it's more of a service. Well, they've called it a service, and there's not supposed to be another one for 10 years or whatever.
Well,
I find that it's I guess it I guess it kind of depends. I don't really look at Halo as that type of game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see if people are receptive to that.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's like, and I'll give an analogy. Like I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I wasn't alive for the original trilogy really. So like when all those people like expected to get those same feelings they got as a kid when they watched those originals, when the prequels came out, of course they're not going to get that same feeling. I just feel like they wanted to have it. They wanted to be like, Star Wars is back, baby. And then it didn't happen. Like for me, I wouldn't like Star Wars if it weren't for the prequels, because those are the ones that I prefer and the ones that I grew up with, right? So those are the ones that I saw in the theaters and enjoyed. When it comes to Halo, it's like I think people wanted to be that plateau, that genre thing.
Yes.
But if you go back and you look, Halo 3 was the peak, and that was the game that sold 20-30 million Xbox 360s that year. And, you had over 1 million concurrently playing it just on 360. Microsoft used to announce the amount of players every single month on their blog. Halo used to outsell every PlayStation exclusive by itself. I mean, times change, things change. Even though it's available on billions of platforms, and they'll go, yeah, it is the best. It's got the most players ever on a Halo, which it will, 100%. And they'll talk about that. Like I've said multiple times, I think it'll be a success in that area. But I think some of the things that obviously worry about me, if they can fix, I have felt like the Ghost was too powerful, and the vehicles in general were a little bit too powerful. I felt like it was a little bit too easy for the Ghost. Like, BRAP and Mooch, you'll tell, like the damn thing was we were playing Capture the Flag. You couldn't kill the damn thing. It was just spawn camping. It was like spawn camping us the entire game, and the guy's going like 25.
Yeah, there was a guy who got on a Ghost and like literally was just going around in a circle.
30 kills.
He had like 30 kills
in that game.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. I mean,
it's funny because you say it's like fun factor, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, that's fine. I didn't even have a problem. I know that a lot of people complain about the TTK. That's fine. I respect people who had a problem with it. I actually didn't even harp on that as much. to me, it was just like, it was the modes, and it's like,
so
it's just
frustrating
more,
to get an
it's just
assist.
more Halo, which, by the way, is not a bad thing. But for someone that you're trying to get back in like me, I was kind of hoping, I just wanted something after 6 years in the lab. After 6 years in the lab, it just felt like Halo 5 and smoother. A much smoother ride than Halo 5.
This isn't a super popular Call of Duty game, but like Black Ops 4, which only had a multiplayer, and like, you know, and I'm a big single player guy. Like I love all the Call of Duty campaigns because they're just like this fun, like epic kind of blockbuster movie type thing. You know what I mean? Popcorn,
Right.
you just out there, it's action. It's a lot of fun. So I like those, and so I was surprised at how much I liked Black Ops 4. And one of the reasons I liked it was because I tend to get a shit ton of assists, and it was just like assists counted as kills. Next thing you know, I can rack up 60 kills a map. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was like I felt, and it kept me playing that Call of Duty, I got to be honest, longer than any Call of Duty that I played in many, many years.
Mhm.
And it was just like you, and the different challenges that you get, they kept it going, you know, for the camouflages, for the weapons. It's like I get into all that, but you're always, and then you can re-up. You know what I'm saying? You prestige, and then you can do it again. Like, you need that kind of stuff to
You
keep
need
going,
something.
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
like, I
Halo's
just-
kind of like
yeah.
Halo's like George Costanza. It's like we have a show. What's the show about? Nothing.
Nothing.
It's got to be
Yeah,
about
it's gotta be about
something. They're like,
something.
no,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, it's
It's just the
nothing.
same.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing, and it's like, but it's got to be about. Why am I playing it?
Mooch,
Because
I
it's
was like-
on.
I was like, are they
Why am I
trying to sell
playing it?
us a
Because it's on
battle?
Game Pass,
Are they-
and it's like,
Are
not
they
yet.
literally trying? Are they literally trying to sell us a battle pass in a beta?
Yeah,
Like I couldn't understand. Like, what was the point of that?
I think that was the free thing for the trial. But
I
let me
didn't
just
even
so
mess with it.
OBM.
I was like, man, that's
I
so
wanna
weird
get
to me. But
Here, crap, let me do this. It's
obviously.
we're an
yeah.
hour in. I got like 18 topics left. I do want to. I just want to. I want to read these super chats, and I want OBM to say his piece on it. And I want to get strictly
right.
in on Battlefield. So real quick here, shout out to Face23. He says the super chat's working at Mooch. Thoughts on Kn1ght Crossfire? Skipped that Friday. It came out. You guys can see the gorgeous gameplay. I'm more than halfway. Well, more halfway through it. Maybe 70% through it. I don't know. But I'm absolutely loving it. You guys can see the gameplay. That's new gameplay from this week. Face, thank you for that super chat. JudaZuk, big time Mooch Maniac family member. He says, I'm sorry, but Halo Infinite maps feel dead, and the movement is way too slow. Even turning up sensitivity to max, it is too slow. It just feels old. So, JudaZuk, I think
The
that they
maps
made it.
feel like every other Halo map from
They
your
feel like all the
childhood.
other Halo maps. They really. I agree. I thought the speed
It feels
was
like, here's
okay.
Blood Gulch, but they put something else in there. It's like, you know, how many times are they gonna do?
Yeah, like what?
You know, they don't. The one map felt like a Call of Duty map. I will say that, and I liked it. What
Oh, the one
name
that
of
was
map?
like
That was the
Favela?
worst one.
That was
no, I liked that one.
That was the worst.
I thought that was the best one.
I thought that was the best
Call
one
of Duty
too.
map.
I love that
it's
one.
You know why BRAP likes it? It's the camping map. You can go to those little rooms. You can sit down on your knees and look on your radar for somebody to come around the corner.
You guys are great.
Steal kill.
No, you definitely can't camp on that map. You'll because people will spawn the rockets and just bomb you
I'm
away.
messing with you. You know I'm messing
Yeah,
with you.
Let me
I
get-
do want to say one.
OBM,
but,
wait, OBM,
I-
you're going to get the mic before we change. I just want to get these super
okay.
chats out and then
Gotcha.
it's yours. Joey Bats, 33, says, sup, David and everybody. So thank you, Joey. Appreciate that. I don't. Is there? We got a David on the panel. So,
What up, bro?
Is that you, Strictly?
Yeah.
Strictly,
Only
see, now
Joey called me
Strictly,
David, man.
listen, Strictly is Strictly, period. But that's fine. No, shout out to Strictly. I love that nickname, man. It's the best gaming name, period. Shout out to Luis Cabrera. He says, Halo should be delayed. Can't compete with Battlefield or COD. I don't know. Luis, listen, that I can't sign off on that one.
They're putting it out free. I mean, it's gonna.
Yeah,
be
no, I
PCs
can't sign off on that one.
It'll. Of
Babor,
course it's.
crap,
Don't
Babor
ruin
is
my
back.
Christmas.
He says, BRAP
Hey,
doing his thing on
Boomer
Friday.
Country.
Shout out to Babor. And the Melodic Punk. He says, meet me on the front lines in Halo. Melodic, I know you're a big fan. I know it. And, you know, I want to just say a quick...
Good games, Malak. I played with him last weekend, too, with Erica. Some
yeah,
good
you
games.
know, I want to say shout out, Jeff. I'm going to read Jeff's comment here because I appreciate Jeff being here. Jeff Grubb says, guys, I think it's about something. He says it's about the sandbox, and I think you just don't care about the sandbox dynamic gameplay, and that's okay. And, you know, Jeff, that I can actually wrap my mind around that. And OBM alluded.
Pave the way, boys.
Well, OBM alluded to that. What is it there? He did you say pave the roads?
Yeah,
pave the roads. That's when we were playing. So me, Crap, BRAP, and Warrior playing capture the flag, and so I get the flag.
It was like
and
when we tried playing Sea of Thieves. The best thing about it is when you're just playing with friends and laughing at.
we were
like,
having we were having fun. Like if that, you know, like I want to say,
Yeah.
like gaming is supposed to be
honestly,
fun. So
we were having fun, kind of making fun of the game.
we were having fun with the whole thing. It was the whole dynamic of it. But Jeff said that, and I think OBM said that when we started this. Can you guys get your mind wrapped around that sandbox. People want to go back and have fun with that. I want to just say to Jeff, I completely agree with that. I can wrap my mind around it. By I guess it's just a question, okay? It's kind of rhetorical, I guess. Is just that everybody on the social media networks that we all kind of read day in and day out, it was just everybody was pro Halo. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, nobody felt that this was just kind of not better Halo, but more Halo. And if it's more Halo and that's why you're excited, I say bravo. I don't have a comment to that.
I feel like even some of the media was kind of hyping that, giving Microsoft the go-ahead that if the campaign's not ready.
Oh, there was an article on that, right?
Yeah.
Or was it an article or was it a quote?
There was other ones. It was an article.
Okay.
It was an article from Forbes and Paul Tassi where it was like, just release the campaign, just release the multiplayer. It's already a hit. You know, delay the campaign.
Don't need the campaign.
Yeah, it's like I've seen a couple different things like that where it's like they're kind of giving Microsoft like, you know, if you want to do this because the campaign might drag down the score and might, you know what I mean? I personally don't really have much faith in the campaign because we haven't seen anything of it and it's supposed to come out in 2 months. Like, I mean, that should be a little bit of a red flag there.
Slow-mo makes a good point. Not COD, not everyone likes COD, not everyone likes Battlefield, not everyone likes Halo. There's something for everybody. Slow-mo, you're right, but the same thing that we say all the time, like the reason that, and I can't wait to get to Battlefield in a second here, but the reason that everyone's so excited about Battlefield 2042 is supposedly the Battlefield community feels they did something different. And like I said with Vanguard, whether you think it's a big thing or not, they added Champion Hill, right? And the Warzone situation changes again November 23rd. So it's like they're doing now. Whether you think those changes are enough, that's the eye of the beholder. But coming from Halo, they added speed, and it's just that's about it, you know. And it's like, okay, so you know, if that's what you say is enough of a change, then I can't argue with you. But I want to OBM go ahead and take the mic, and then we're gonna go to Battlefield. I'm gonna start with Strictly.
You're really getting your money's worth from me on this topic tonight. So
absolutely, OBM.
I appreciate the mic, but yeah, just one thing I want to address that what you were just talking about earlier about something different. I guess the best way to equate this is like in politics. In politics, you know, when you run, usually the first thing you want to do is you want to nail down the base, right? And the reason why you're seeing so much excitement right now, I'll accept the fact that a lot of it is from people that are either Halo fans or former Halo fans. But the base was split. The base had a lot of anxiety. The base had a lot of skepticism about how 343 can move forward with this. And as far as the base is concerned, they nailed it. They got the foundation right. And that is the most critical thing, is that when this thing launches on December 8th, they have the right foundation. They got the base. They got something to build off of, because this is going to be a 10-year platform. There's going to be content every year, just like there is a Destiny and things like that. And I do think, and this is really for you and for my buddy here, Enrique, who we kind of go back and forth about this offline too, is that, you know, over time, they are going to have other modes. They are going to try other things and take risks. They needed to win the confidence of their core base to begin with. And so it sounds like a lot of those, a lot of that base is not here on this panel, right? But that's who they need to. It's not important that it overtakes Warzone or that it, you know, it's
absolutely
not
OBM. No, I want to reemphasize that.
That could have never been a thing anyway, because it's not on PlayStation.
But here's the thing: like long term, there's a lot of potential because in my opinion, I feel they have nailed the sandbox, and that is what defines Halo. That's what defines Halo. Makes it different than every other game that's out there. They nailed it. They can build off of that. I know they're built. I already know there's things coming down the pipeline that are going to be bigger modes, that are going to be taking chances, or going to be trying to do different things. And I think like next year, it could be next year, you know, holiday 2022, or maybe sometime after that. Yeah, Mooch is going to go say, well, see, this is what I said. They needed to do this. And now that they did this, that's why it's big again. I can see that kind of thing happening. I kind of expect
it's exciting, like OBM. That's exciting. Like we've all been playing Halo since 2001. Like it's exciting to get something new. Go ahead.
A Halo BR would be good.
A BR or any mode. Let them come up with their own mode. I don't care.
But Mooch, winning the base is new. Sewing them together.
I hear you. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, so
that's
a good point.
That is a new thing. And I don't know
point.
if you saw the leaks on the Forge. There's going to be some crazy shit that's going to come out of this. You take this sandbox, this foundation, they're going to add other things to it. I don't know if you saw what's in Forge. People are going to come up with other types of modes, and we talked about how it was fun playing as a community.
Yes.
You know, like, and even Enrique said I wasn't really having fun playing, but I like being it. I do think this is going to be one of those social type of games that even if your main game is like a Call of Duty or a Warzone or something else, it is the thing that people can come back together once a week for, you know, Halo Forge night, things like that.
Yes.
And that's really been missing. That's been missing, I think, for the most part, except for, you know, there's pockets here and there that are split between the two, but that's been missing since Halo 3, and I think that's coming back.
I like your point. I really do. I do want to switch subjects, OBM, over to Battlefield, because we did bring in a couple of resident specialists here, which I didn't know.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. So let's strictly. I'm going to go to you with this one here. So Battlefield 2040.
Yes,
Yeah, it's Twister. Battlefield 2042 beta having multiple issues that people are reporting on PC and console, but at the same time, is Battlefield? Do you think Battlefield 2042 is bringing this franchise back to where? Two questions. The Old Faithful, like OBM just very, very clearly stated that he believes Halo Old Faithful are coming back to for Halo. Is the same Old Faithful coming back for Battlefield? And are you going to be able to recruit new first-person shooter type, gamers to this particular 2042?
I mean, for sure, man. First of all, there are a bunch of bugs, glitches, and things like that within the 2042 beta. Like, I mean, that's pretty obvious. But I think for the most part, when people are playing the game, the point is you want to know if you enjoy the core gameplay of it, not the bugs, not the glitches, the core gameplay on why you are playing a first-person shooter. If you enjoy it, then get the game. You know what I'm saying? But do I think that it's going to bring back older fans of the franchise? Yeah, I do, for sure. And I think it depends on the launch of the game, obviously. But what people were wanting is they were tired of the back in the day World War II type guns and things like that.
Yeah.
But they wanted the Battlefield 4 gameplay. That's what they're getting with 2042, and I think that's why you hear so many people excited about 2042, even with all the bugs and glitches in the game. So at the end of the day, I'm definitely excited for it. I think I think the reputation of EA with the last two Battlefields is really what people got, why people are so skeptical about it. It'd be one thing if, they launched the last two Battlefields and it didn't have a lot of crazy problems and bad launches and things like that. But they did, so people are really, really skeptical about, the launch of 2042, rightfully so. But like I said, the game is so much fun. The weather mechanics, it looks beautiful, the gunplay, all of that, and I'm not going to get into every little glitch and things like that within the game. There's no need to. I got a list on Twitter for that. But it's just super dope to play, man, especially when you're with a squad. So, look, man, so much to be excited for with that game, in my opinion.
Okay, so now Strictly says that. Now, I want to say, for me, I got to be honest with you. So you guys, and it's funny, everyone in the chat was like, oh, Mooch, this and that about Halo. I got to tell you something. If you think I was rough on Halo, you ain't heard nothing yet.
Could be even more rough.
Yeah, I am definitely not a Battlefield fan.
Mooch was trolling us while we were playing too.
Yeah,
literally.
I try.
DMs.
I really can't believe.
For me, Battlefield, and that's why I want to get these differences of opinion, because it's important for me to hear this as much as it is for the audience. Battlefield for me is it's a chaotic catastrophe. It's just a mess. I watch the pros do their thing on Twitch. I've watched friends playing it and this and that. It's just like people are running around, and there seems to be there's no, how do I put this? There's no organization. It's like there's 4 people on your team.
Well,
there's 132 people out there, right? Or 164 people out there, or whatever the number is. Now, it doesn't matter. 900 people out there. Who
Mooch,
cares?
did you ever play Rush?
No, I don't know. Like, to me, it's like everyone's just doing their own thing. Like I was watching what was it, Tim the Tap Man and Nick Merckx and these guys, and they're playing it and they're having fun to a certain degree. They're like, where are you? He's like, I don't know. Where are you? I don't know. I'm in the hangar. I don't know what's going. Like, nobody knows what's going on. I'm in a tank. I'm on it. Nobody knows what's happening. It's like, what are you doing? It's like it's just a chaotic mess. There's no organization. There's no like teamwork at all on a game that's so big. On a scale that's so big.
I gotta ask who they playing with. I gotta ask who they playing with.
They were playing with the public. I mean, they were playing. It was 4 people playing with the public. You know what I mean? They were just in a match, a lobby.
Listen, the fact that you just said they were like, "Where you at?" when I'm playing, it takes a conscious effort.
Yes.
It doesn't even take a conscious effort. You can literally run around with randoms.
Yes.
And I was playing yesterday all by myself. First of all, I love Battlefield. I was running around by myself. Nobody else in a squad with 3 other people I don't know.
Right.
And I stuck with my squad. And guess what we were doing? Capturing bases, killing people on the way to objectives and stuff.
You should have played the lottery yesterday. That's lucky.
It ain't playing lottery. All you gotta do is just because you can jump around and stuff, and you find people that are actually doing what you want them to do. The thing is, Battlefield allows you to play how you want to play. You can go in, you can be on a team with a bunch of just random solo artists and stuff that want to do it on their own, and you're not gonna achieve anything. Or if you jump in there with your buddies, like I'm saying, you watching streamers play together, and the fact that they're not even playing together.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird to me, and it's because Battlefield.
Well, listen, when I said they were just like one was in like the hangar, one was in a tank. One was fighting like down the way. Like when they opened the map up, you could see they were in different locations. Maybe they're doing that deliberately. Listen, that's fine. But I've played it too. And shout out, by the way, shout out to the great Lord Addict is here. Addict, welcome to the show, buddy. We're talking about Battlefield. And I don't know if you got a chance to play any of that. I'm definitely interested in hearing your opinion on it if you did. For me, it just seems like there's no organization to Battlefield for the most part. It's such a big, vast, major, like the map. I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive technically what they've been able to accomplish. But it just seems like, again, just like it's like I want to go into a huge sandbox. I just want to shoot things. It's like, okay.
Look, it definitely depends on who you playing with. Because I'm telling you right now, I done played with about 10 different people. I done told people, listen, come play with me.
Yeah.
You gonna have fun. They come play with me on Battlefield 2042, and we in gunfights the whole match.
Strictly, we are playing this weekend. I don't give a shit what's happening on anybody's schedule because I gotta maybe experience what I'm missing, and I don't know what the hell it is. But I haven't played a lot of Battlefield. I'm not gonna pretend that I have. I'm not gonna say that I have. I have not. But the times that I've played it, it just seems like a mess. And it just seems like, it's like you want to just jump into a sandbox and have fun, but I want to win. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. When I play, that's why I like, and I understand you guys can all throw tomatoes at me for this. The reason I like Warzone is when I do play with my squad, like, it is serious. Like, literally, even when someone's talking, someone will be like, comms. Because it's like, we want to be able to hear what's going on. If there's one person that's bringing us back, like, we want to win. Like, that's the thing. It's whether it's top 10, top 3, win it all. Like, and I feel like with Battlefield, it's just like, I'm over here in a tank. You guys got to see this. I blew up a wall. It's so much fun. It's like, I don't want to.
I promise.
But Mooch, let me ask you something.
Hold on for a second.
If you take Battlefield the same way.
I am, but the people that I usually play with in randoms definitely don't.
First of all, you can't play Warzone the same way as Battlefield because Warzone's there's definitely more risk involved, so Warzone's a little bit different. But
true.
Like I said, look, one thing is certain. I'm telling you, I got you, bro. When you play with me, it's gonna be a lot different. And if you don't like the game after that, then cool. I could respect it. Battlefield just may not be a thing.
Right.
But I'm telling you, every single person I done played with, like we in gunfights every 2 minutes. We not playing and we trying to go for the dub.
That's what I want. I want that W. And it seems like you hear Forte. And Forte. By the way, like let me ask Strictly a question. Strictly, you play Battlefield religiously, okay? You heard Forte a moment ago. Now, I have more experiences like what Forte said, but not the same outcome. When I play Battlefield, generally I'll just jump in there playing with randoms, right? It's a mess. Everyone's all over the place. No one's talking to each other, whatever. Now, Forte, I believe he had a great experience. Awesome. Do you see that when you just jump in with 4 random, when you're given that experience you just did right now, that's you playing with your boys, you're playing to win, you're playing for the W. But when you play with randoms in Battlefield, do you see more of my side or no? You still see an unbelievable community that's just like trying to get the W?
I can see a little bit of both, to be honest, because like it's a little bit different. Like, yeah, it's probably gonna be a little bit more like boring if you're by yourself because there's really no communication.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no communication. Like, you're not really, there's not really too much risk involved and stuff like that. You're kind of just running around playing a game or whatever. I can see that. But if you're playing, really trying to play the objective, cap the points, pushing these objectives and stuff like that, it's a whole different ball game. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it really depends on the player and who you playing with. And I played with like 12 different people since the beta dropped, and everybody's saying it's different when you play with Strictly or you play with a squad of people.
Xbox,
to be honest with you,
go ahead,
it depends on who your squad leader is.
I'm the squad leader.
It really does make a difference.
I think people play the games for different things. Like, for instance, like Warzone, it's more centered around your squad. It's more centered on what you can do on the map that you're in. Like Battlefield is more centered around your team. Like you yourself, it's not that you're irrelevant to the matter, but if your whole team doesn't pull their weight, you are irrelevant. Like there's only so much you can do as a team. Sure, you can still have a good time. You know, your team's sucking, your squad's doing good. But even though that you had good time, you had those good scores, you had those good KDs, when you still show up defeated, you feel away. So like, and I understand when people come from that, but I play Battlefield for that chaotic shit. You know what I'm saying? For knowing that there are certain scenarios that you can't do without other people. I didn't get to play this Battlefield beta because I heard like it kind of like ran a little bit bad in certain points, and I was playing Far Cry when it first launched, so I couldn't really get into it. I went to play it this morning, but it was off. Is it on right now?
I thought it was on all weekend.
It's live all weekend till the end of Sunday.
Well, but you know what? But Attic, you're speaking.
Skills.
Attic, you're speaking my language here. I kind of have everything you're saying. I'm sitting here and I'm totally agreeing with you. Like that's been my experience with Battlefield. Is it been fun to a certain degree? Yes, but it's like that chaotic fun. And if that's what you're looking for, I think that's the game. We're strictly saying no, Mooch. You're not getting it. We do a tactical team effort. Maybe it's because the people that I know that like it that I've played with. They're not playing as serious as my friends that play like Warzone. These guys that I play Warzone with, like they're pretty damn serious.
On a Battlefield
it's
person,
just you and 3 other people. Warzone's more personal than Battlefield.
Facts.
Like Battlefield is it's personal because you're still playing with your friends, but at the end of the day, like you and 3 other people. Is it 3 or 4? Is it 4 or 5 people in
4
Warzone?
4 people. 4 people.
Yeah, you and 3 other people are going to take on the rest of the squads and come out as the #1 squad. On Battlefield, you and multiple squads are going to take on other squads and come out the victor. At the end of the day, Battlefield, if you and your people if you and your people did what you were supposed to, you're going to see that W at the end of the screen. But you can literally do whatever you can to the best of your ability in Battlefield.
He's right. This is the
part
you
still might see that L.
Right. And that's the part right there. So let me ask strictly, I'm going back to you real quick, and then Strex, man, you can chime in because I know you're another big fan of this. But Attic really nailed that right there. So there's times when they're like, well, who's going to be the and you guys, what is it? Do they still have the engineer class? Or no, they don't. Right?
Yes,
it's like, I don't feel like walking around with a defibrillator. Hey, Strictly, you coming back? Boom, boom, clear. Like, I don't want to do that shit.
That's where I feel like Battlefield
or engineer,
really
whatever.
Good because that's where I feel like Battlefield does really good. They give every type of player the type of gameplay they want.
Yeah, but you know what?
If you're not one of those people
Attic,
that goes out there and shoots stuff,
that's great on paper. That is great on paper. That's an awesome sales pitch. But realistically, who the hell who's like an alpha-like player wants to run around with a defibrillator, bringing people back to life or healing a tank?
I love support classes.
I don't want to heal a tank.
Let me say this. Let me say this too. One thing that I do think is important to bring up, and Adam brought up a good point, being the best squad and things like that. In the beta, there is this, when you bring up the little options tab and there's a bunch of teams, it actually shows what team has the most kills, the most objectives, and all of that. Like, and I don't know if y'all like me, but I'm a big competitor. Yeah. And I want to be #1 every time I fucking play the game.
I think Mooch's point though is like, regardless if you're the better squad, if you still lost, what's the point in being the better squad? Like, I think that's Mooch's point.
I think.
Now is it my turn?
Yeah, sorry, man. But I think Strictly was just saying too that was a good point. But like, you want to
him on the same page.
You want to get that. You do want to get that win. Is it difficult with 179 people? It just feels like it's almost.
No, it's very difficult because what's happened. I'm telling you, this what happens a lot, and Battlefield players already know. You will go cap an objective. You'll have 3 out of 5 objectives. You'll run to another one to cap it. In a second you leave, that objective got taken because the rest of the lobby not taking care of their business.
That's true. Yeah.
Yep. Every single time, and you see it on the scoreboard. It's very obvious because now instead of being up by 50 points, now you down 150, 200 tickets because the rest of the lobby not taking care of their business.
Here's the thing about Battlefield is snipers don't 90% of the time don't win Battlefield. It's based on the team base and the things that you do as a squad. Like me, my buddy, I like engineer. I like to blow, excuse my French. I like to blow shit up.
Okay.
So it's like my buddy he plays sniper mode. I play engineer mode. I have the weapon for lock on, but sometimes they're out of my range. So my sniper buddy will get his scope, lock on it, and then the circle come up. I hit my mortar, or I forget, MV something weapon, and then I shoot it at it. It's locked on. it's about to get taken out of the sky. I couldn't do that without my buddy playing sniper, and then my other buddy plays the assault class, and he has the what do you call it, the med kit, so he can support us while we're defending and throw his med kit out there to help us defend the flag or defend the territory. And all that makes for how are you going to win at Battlefield, because the more territories you hold,
yes,
and everybody else on that side is getting the kills when they try to come and win, that's how you win at Battlefield. It's not a selfish type playing game.
And plus,
Go ahead. No, you go.
And plus, I've noticed that like snipers on that game, like they don't really play Battlefield sniping. They feel like to me, sniping in Battlefield's always been about going with your squad, getting a good vantage point, and helping you take an objective. Like I feel like a lot of snipers on Battlefield, they just want to be selfish and try to snipe, like have good montages, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
you're like
not
me,
sniping strategically. They're sniping just to kill people.
You got friends that snipe for you and mark for you, right? Where, okay, you're trying to take an objective and you got a friend far away looking out for you, make sure nobody sneak up on you while you're trying to gain that objective.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Aren't like that though.
But I know most snipers, but my squad usually helps to win the way we do. But it also depends on your leader. Your leader definitely has to pull up the next objective and be able to work with the squad to tell them where they got to go. Where's your next point of interest where you have to win the game.
To be honest with you, Battlefield, like a lot of players don't take Battlefield like seriously in terms of like playing it seriously.
Thank you,
like
Addict.
A lot of people like to go in there and just shoot shit, not do anything strategically. And that's not saying anything bad on the player base.
Those are the ones that fall off. And
I agree. I kind of agree with Addict, and that's my feeling on it too.
Let me chime in real quick. That's actually not true. Like Rush is so, and I said this on Strictly's. I said this on Strictly's Spaces earlier. I want to see what Rush is about, because that is where you're going to find the teamwork. People are running different character classes, so you can support the the squad. It's more focused.
How many people are in Rush? What's the lobby size?
It could depend. It could be, you could do 16 versus 16, or you could do 32 versus 32.
It's generally a lot better on Rush.
But it's definitely
so strictly
much better.
So Strictly, do you agree with BRAP? Is that and do you agree with him? A, and B, do you think someone like myself? Do you think that's more my tempo?
Like Rush. You'll like
Rush, Mooch.
Sounds like it.
Absolutely, because I'm more of a, and look, I haven't played with Enrique yet or nothing, but I play with like linking these people, and they already know, like I'm in people's face. I'm like up close and personal when it comes to gunfights and video and FPS shooters and stuff like that. And Rush is definitely it, because it's a little bit more fast paced, and that's another thing to bring up when it comes to Battlefield 2042. Conquest.
Do you know how Rush works?
Yeah, because Conquest is not going to be the main mode that people play. People are going to be in Battlefield Portal making their own modes on their own smaller maps and things like that, and that's where the most of the people are going to be. You know what I'm saying? So you'll definitely Rush a little bit more for sure.
Yeah,
is Rush available right now in the beta?
To the next
no, I don't think it is.
Not yet.
Rush is more about it does force more people to be more strategic. It does force them, because Conquest you can literally just go to a place, and I feel like Rush defeats a lot of the camping that goes on in Battlefield, and there's not a lot, but sometimes that do be annoying.
There's enough.
You run across the one.
Because Rush
is like real war. It's more like real war.
Bigger objective-based type of game than Conquest. Conquest is more like almost kind of like team deathmatch with Conquest.
It is.
It's an objective-based.
It is team deathmatch, isn't it? Basically.
No,
Conquest.
It's objective-based though.
Right.
But there's objective. You got to get the points. But a lot of people don't play the objective. They want to just get kills and do all that stuff. They don't really take Conquest as serious, even though it's one of the bigger modes that people play.
Yes.
There is, the hardcore fans of Battlefield that play like Rush and like the more smaller modes, like Strick. I mean, he plays a lot of the smaller modes that are, more
Oh,
objective.
team deathmatches and stuff like that they got too. I hate those.
Well, the team deathmatch is. I mean, that's the thing. It's like if you want to play team deathmatch, why don't you just play team deathmatch instead of conquest? You know. But people are like, well, I want to play, you know, conquest because it's bigger and I have more people to play with.
So Dark Goldblum, let me ask you and all the fans. There's a lot of Battlefield fans here on the panel, a lot in the chat as well. And I'm going to get to the super chats in a second. But let me ask you guys this: Does this Battlefield, unlike other ones, does this one have more legs than what we've seen with Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1?
Yes. Yes. Oh, way
more.
Yeah,
way
and plus they got that mode that they put in it. So like I feel like it's gonna have a lot of longevity, but you know it does have that only multiplayer price tag on it. I do think that's gonna hurt a little bit, but you know, the Battlefield fans and the first person shooter fans in general is gonna pick this up, and I think you know the longer you see it, I think you're gonna see more and more people pick it up when there's on sale, when they put it on EA Access.
Battlefield 4. Yep, it's a bigger version.
Yeah,
of
so
Battlefield 4.
and I do think it's going to be one of those contender things. The biggest thing that's hurting it is, you know, it is a paid multiplayer subscription.
Yeah. I think
in a sea of free to play games. So
interesting.
I think
I'm getting $120 version.
I think I already did too, but I think the biggest issue with it is honestly EA's reputation with the last Battlefields. Like I think because and you know, like if they mess up on this launch for 2042, like I don't think they'll be able to rebound in regards to Battlefield. You know what I'm saying? Because of the so many rough launches with 1, 5, or you know whatever. So I do think that you know EA's reputation was hurting it, but if you know if it what's been told to us is true with the you know because the beta was supposed to come out you know early September and the beta build was like 2 months prior to that, so it's a very old version of the game. So I just
what's the new mode strictly? What's the new mode that Attic just brought up?
Oh, you're talking about Battlefield Portal, or he talking about?
I'm asking.
Portal. So yeah, Portal. So Portal. Do you know what Portal is?
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
What's Portal?
I know.
So Portal. Is Portal available in the beta at all, or no?
No.
It's not. But
Portal is going to be what keeps the game going.
Yeah, because Portal, you're going to be able to go in there. You have access to all the maps that come with the regular game, and some, you know, 4 like remade maps for older Battlefields. But you get to create your own game modes. Whether
it's Battlefield's version of Forge.
Yeah, it puts you back. It can put you back in time and in the future with future weapons. It mixes it up.
So yeah, with artifacts from previous Battlefield games and all that. But the best part about it is not only do you get to make your own game modes, but you make your own rules for it. So if you want to make a hardcore game mode for Rush, you can. If you wanted to be regular core, you can. If you wanted to be snipers and shotguns only, you can. Like you could do
like your own private server, like they did in Battlefield 4.
The best analogy I can give you isn't Forge. It's like Portal is pretty much the Master Chief Collection, playing what you want, what mode you want. What that is probably the best. I don't think Forge is a good analogy, but I think the Master Chief Collection and like the foundation that was built on would be a better analogy.
No, you know, shout out to T. Harris. He goes, Mooch acts like he's banned from learning about Battlefield with these questions. Let me tell T. Harris, listen, buddy, there's only about 7,000 games that we cover and we play. Like, I just tweeted out a picture today. Metroid Dread, right? I just got that. I'm playing Far Cry 6, which we're going to discuss, and hopefully Attic can stick around because I know he played the hell out of it. I'm playing all these other games. I love Warzone. If you follow me on Xbox at all, you'll see that I'm on Warzone at least, 2 hours a day. Like, you know, sorry I don't play Battlefield as much as you, T. Harris, but nonetheless.
Smart remark, Mooch.
What?
Battlefield is a true war zone.
Well,
I'm just letting you know.
Great words there. Great terminology.
That's a fact.
Great Sir X-Men. But no, so when does Portal launch with? Does it launch? Does that launch day one?
Launch with the game.
They launch day one.
Okay, that I can get around because what that does, and again, guys, I'm putting my own history here with what you guys are telling me. Is a lot of times you see Call of Duty with their old maps. They'll bring their old maps like Black Ops, right? They did that same thing. They brought all the Black Ops map back and this and that. And it does. It enthralls the community to stick around and play more. It's what they do in their season pass or game pass and that. But that's fine. But my thing is, I think that's really, really cool to keep the community excited. But is there any new modes besides Portal? Because Portal doesn't sound like a new mode. It just sounds like it's a, how do I put it?
Hazard Zone.
Hazard Zone is a new mode?
Yeah, and they still haven't came out and confirmed what exactly it is. It's like there's gonna be some type of battle royale type component to it, but it's not going to be battle royale. So I don't know if it comes out at launch, so they didn't confirm that yet or anything, but I'm pretty sure it will, to be honest. I mean, but to be honest though, in a grand scheme of Battlefield, I do honestly think, just off of hearing you talk, how you like Warzone, how you like first person shooters.
Yes.
I just think if you play like with me and people who really play like me, like you're really going to fuck with Battlefield.
I think you're onto something, and that's my fault because the great Sir X-Man and other people have invited. I've never really gotten into it because, like you say, there has been time that I've just dedicated to others. But if Battlefield 2042 feels like a fresh breath of air from somebody like me who's been so on the outside of Battlefield, this may be the first time I can actually put my foot back into the Battlefield pool since so long ago. Like Battlefield 3 is to get back into that feel again. So I mean, I think there is something. I do want to read a couple super chats here. Shout out to T-Rock40. He says, Dark Optimus, Battlefield meat shield for the win. So basically, he said he used you as bait. And shout out to the wonderful Lady Foxfire, Mooch Maniac family member. She says, you guys know I'm a big Battlefield fan. I love me some Conquest, and I already have this game pre-ordered, but this beta is trash in my experience. And let me just say this much. So you guys do have to understand something. One of the great, if you go back to the old classic Crossfires, we have to have Lady Foxfire on the show. I know she's doing her runs. Lady, let me know when you want to come on the show. You know you're always welcome. Me and her used to have some of the funniest debates because, again, I was not a big Battlefield fan. She was. So take it. When she says that she's not enjoying, I've seen her on Twitter too. She's saying that she's had some rough times with the beta. Strictly, or any of you guys that have been playing a lot, Addict, what do you guys think to Lady Foxfire's point? She's had some issues with glitches, etc. in the beta. Has any of this deterred you guys at all from your enjoyment?
Like you said, it's an early build. You're gonna expect that.
I haven't been able to play anything of it, but what I've seen, look, all Battlefield betas are pretty much the same.
They're buggy, right, Addict? Yeah.
One of the things that we have to admit is Battlefield 4 launched really bad. And Battlefield 3 was rocky. It wasn't as bad, but it was still rocky. So like we can't act like, Battlefield, whatever the hell the numbers are, like 2042, 2088, I don't know. But it is concerning, because it's just look, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be as bad as Battlefield 4, but I don't want either one of them happening, if that makes sense. I want the game to function. Like back then, we was at the point where games started coming out broken. We are far behind that. Let's not have no games broken anymore. And I know that's an unrealistic expectation to have no games ever broken, but we should stop not necessarily rewarding, but we are too understanding that games come out broken.
And it's getting old.
There's something to be said about that, Addict. Now, I mean, certainly
for getting susceptible to it. It's just it's broken. Okay.
So,
and
did that affect
Battlefield Bad Company 2 was the only one came out perfect.
Did that affect anybody?
No bugs.
Did that affect you at all, Strictly? Because I mean, I've heard only pretty positive things coming from your camp on this game. Are you a bit concerned? And it is concerning. I mean, all the Battlefield betas have had an issue, and then the Battlefield 4 thing was a bit of a fiasco. That was a launch game, so I give that one a little bit more of a wiggle room there than others. But are you a little concerned here, or no? You think they'll get this all straightened out? Because as the great T Harris reminded me in the chat, I'm not keeping my ear to the ground on the Battlefield community. You are. So if you could just let me know, I am all ears.
There is one thing.
I'm definitely concerned to a certain extent because, again, Battlefield, I didn't play all of these other Battlefields at launch, but from what I hear from the general Battlefield community, they released in a really bad state. So I definitely have some type of skepticism, and kind of concerned about that. But I'm hoping, that what they're saying is true in regards to the early build and things like that. Because, again, I can't necessarily knock her for saying that because there's a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs in the beta and things like that. And it's kind of a catch-22, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to show everybody everything that you're going to put at the launch, but you want to show them enough to really get them intrigued in the game. But then it's an older build, so again, it's kind of a double-edged sword for that. So again, I definitely understand people's concerns and really respect it to an extent. I mean, I have my own concerns, but I do think that because EA knows they can't fuck this up, this is their last chance with Battlefield. I'm kind of leaning more towards they're going to get their shit together on the launch of this game.
Ricky, I got a question because I had a problem with Battlefield. When it was time to deploy, they did not have any color coding, which we're used to for where to deploy a Battlefield. When I was looking for where to go to help somebody, it was all gray. The circles were gray. they need to put the color coding around the circle so you know which one the enemies are at and which one you're at.
Right.
That bothers me.
They definitely need that quality of life improvement because right now it's just like a little bubble over the objective, and you kind of gotta like struggle to see it. So they need to have the actual section, the color of like whether you got it or the enemy got it or something like that.
Right, like which one of your bases that you have that's closer to the objective where you know where to spawn at, so you can advance towards the target.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Mooch. The other,
yes,
these guys are spot on about the quality of life stuff. Like there's some design issues with like the UI, accessing the map, identifying enemies and friendlies. Like there's issues there. To me, it's kind of head scratching because I don't recall those issues being present like in Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3.
Right.
The thing with the grenades, apparently, listen to this. Apparently, and I haven't looked into this, but somebody tweeted out that with the grenade issue, because you have to like hit the directional pad to access your grenades, and then you got to hit the trigger button. So it's really two things you have to do to throw grenades, which is ridiculous. I don't think that's like why would you
you can change that though. Right? Shout out to BG who tweeted if you go into the settings, you can change it to one button push.
But why? But here's the thing: why even have it in the settings to change? Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, they're catering the PC with that.
It should just be automatic.
There's definitely a lot of quality of life stuff that they have to add. I mean, there's a lot, so I'm really not gonna start listing them. You know what I'm saying? So again, hopefully those things are fixed at launch. I mean, I got like a list that I'm gonna make sure I post on Twitter after the beta's over. You know what I'm saying? And I've been told, that a lot of these things have been already fixed, but again, you kind of got to take that with a grain of salt because we're not the developers, so it is what it is. We'll see.
Well, let me do this.
I mean, go
ahead, BRAP.
Yeah, I was gonna say outside of that, I mean, at its core, it's a Battlefield game, and visually speaking, considering the chaos and all the stuff that's going around, like with tanks and airplanes and choppers, the game looks pretty good.
And the guns feel good. The guns feel really good. I'll give them that. They did good job on the guns. I mean, when I'm shooting the weapon, man, it really feels in my controller like I'm really pulling the trigger. I get the fade off of the bullets and everything.
X-Man, you also said
I gotta come down.
They got a problem with hit detection though, like with the rocket launcher though. When you shoot someone with the rocket launcher,
right.
Like it doesn't do any damage to like somebody. I'm like, what? Like
you have to be right up on them. They need to fix that.
You have to hit them like dead on.
I think Sir X-Man was saying that this is a cross-play game, correct?
It's cross-platform, yeah. Yeah, like I said, Jay's 2 cents said it when I looked at him earlier when he was.
And that's available now through the beta, or is that available day one?
Not sure. I guess downloaded the beta for the PC, so I'm gonna do crossplay.
Crossplay is on now. Okay.
Yeah, but only they did say that there was a problem with the crossplay in regards to like if you wanted to party up with someone on a different platform, you couldn't really do it. So if you want to play with crossplay on, you can't I can't. I can't team up with someone on PC and Xbox and form a party and then go into a lobby. But I can, play with crossplay on by myself, or I could just be with everybody on PlayStation or whatever platform you're on.
Okay.
But they did say it would be fixed at launch though. They said that
is the open beta?
I'll just go to party chat.
The open beta is active as of today, I believe, correct? Or is it tomorrow?
I just downloaded it to my PC about
today or
3 hours ago.
Tomorrow. Today
so I know.
Tomorrow.
I got a quick question. Addict, I don't know if you're back yet. Addict had to step away for a second. I want to ask Addict, I do have on the screen here, I want to switch subjects here to Far Cry, because I want to talk about it, because a lot of people really have been pretty hard on it, and not for the reason you would think, right? So you would think that they were hard on the game because, it was glitchy or this and that, it wasn't working, but people are being hard on Far Cry, and I'm not saying they're wrong, but they're being hard on Far Cry because Far Cry's being Far Cry. Well, I personally understand part of it because the last time I truly enjoyed a Far Cry was Far Cry 3. I know a lot of people agree with that. I thought 4, I didn't play 4. Pardon me. 4 didn't interest me at all. 5, I played. I thought the main antagonist was phenomenal. The father was awesome. The siblings, not so much. Right? So I think that 5 missed the mark. I got to tell you, and listen, I'm a bit of a fan here of Giancarlo Esposito. He's fantastic. So I think we may be coming back to the days of Voss again here. I'm only about an hour in. What you're going to see here is no spoiler. I mean, it's the first hour of the game. And I got to tell you, just from the first hour of the game, I'm getting Far Cry 3 vibes. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just checking right here. Addict, are you back yet? Or
yeah, I'm back.
Addict, can you give everybody your thoughts on this?
My eating.
That's okay, and I appreciate it. By the way, I'm starving. I'm eating after the show. But go, Addict. What was your thoughts on what I said as far as people's critique of Far Cry being Far Cry, and your thought of actually playing the game?
I beat the game. I did get a review copy.
Yep, you have a review out.
It's the best Far Cry since it's. Yeah, I do have a review on the IOP channel. If anyone wants to go,
yes,
the
please go check it out.
Channel. It's the best Far Cry since Far Cry 3.
Fact.
I get it. People want Far Cry to change, but being a Far Cry fan, I wasn't a big fan of Far Cry 5. I don't know why. But Far Cry 6, I felt like not necessarily took Far Cry back to its roots, but it was just Far Cry relies a lot on the antagonist, and I felt like they got it with 5, but the world didn't really capture me in 5. And Far Cry 6, I feel the world alive. I feel, that you are actually doing something with that. And, regardless what people feel about games not changing the franchise, when we do see people and companies change the franchise, they bitch. So
they complain.
To me, I'm always about companies staying closer to their roots because that's what their fans and the people that made them what they are, than trying to gravitate towards an audience that isn't going to fuck with their product anyway.
I see.
So, I enjoyed Far Cry. I understand people don't want to play it because it's just more Far Cry. Stop playing Call of Duty because it's more Call of Duty. Stop playing Battlefield because it's more Battlefield. Stop playing Halo because it's more Halo.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, these games might change the pacing of the game, but at the roots of the foundation of all these games, it's Call of Duty. It's Battlefield. It's Madden. How many people play 2K every year? How many people play Madden every year? Why can everyone do this but for Ubisoft games? It's just like, look, like I get it. A lot of you want them to change it, but guess what? Every Assassin's Creed sells more than the previous ones. This one's probably going to sell more than Far Cry 5.
Yep.
Clearly, a lot of people are liking it. It's just some people don't. You have every right to not like the game. You have every right to want to Far Cry to change. But why are you bitching about it when you're not going to buy it anyway? Just don't buy it.
Right. And now, can I ask a couple questions here? What's the runtime? What was your? Now, I understand that can be elongated or shortened depending on if you're going to complete it.
About almost 30 hours.
30 hours, and that's not even 100%, right?
Yeah. No, definitely not 100%. That map, it's the biggest map by far. Like it's ridiculous how big the map is.
That's crazy.
I heard that map was fucking crazy.
So shout out to Gaming Persona. He goes, I'm still not sure about this. I think Addict said it best. Persona, if you like Far Cry 3, this is a must. If Far Cry 3 didn't hit your fancy, I mean, it could be a pass for you.
Mooch, I'm looking at your graphics for Far Cry, man, and I'm like, what happened to what it was supposed to look like?
I think it's beautiful, actually. Maybe the compression here you're seeing on YouTube isn't doing its justice.
Doesn't give it any justice. It doesn't.
Right,
give it
that's
any
normal.
justice.
Then that's normal for the compression.
No, because this is a beautiful game.
Get this on PC.
If you like Far Cry 3, there might be some Easter eggs in Far Cry 6. I won't go too much into that, but
Nice.
Say what?
I ain't going into much more than that. I ain't spoiling nothing.
No, don't spoil nothing.
Little Easter eggs.
How was the performance from Giancarlo? What did it live up to what we think it will?
He wasn't. He was on the screen, but he wasn't on the screen at the same time. Like for what he was on there, it was wonderful. That dude, anything he touches turns into gold. So I love that dude in anything. Like he was great in Breaking Bad, great in the Star Wars stuff. Like there's not much this dude doesn't do that doesn't highlight.
Great in the Mandalorian. Yeah. Oh my God, was he amazing in the Mandalorian?
Yeah. So he great choice, man. Great choice. I wonder who they're going to do next because, people always say, oh, the antagonist is what make Far Cry. It's not the game. No, I honestly disagree. I think it's the gameplay, the world bending, and the antagonist together. Far Cry is one of the few games I forget who the main character is. It's always the antagonist. Like
it is in Far Cry, yeah.
And they do a great job. Like people remember who Voss is. And what's crazy is Voss wasn't even the main bad guy in Far Cry 3.
No.
So people remember Voss.
That's right. Is the story worth it? It's
a great story. It is a good story. Like it really makes you walk around this world and you really see the damage that man is doing to this world, this country. You're like,
is it linear or you do what you want to still get to the end of the game, but you still have the
It's
freedom
linear,
to go
but
where
the
you want.
gameplay is do what you want. It like the story's linear, like there's not a whole lot of choosing like the way you want to do something. Like they kind of like drift you towards one path, but the gameplay you can do however you want to get to that path.
I give it a try.
I really do think it. You know, I think it's. I think Attic, you're doing a great job of describing it. And what he just said a second ago, as far as
Attic
the story,
actually just convinced me to download it.
Well, the story is what Attic said is you get the point really quick about how Giancarlo, kind of his character. I believe it's Antoine. What's his last name? It's Antoine something or another. Is the antagonist who was played by Giancarlo Esposito.
It's like Carlito or something.
Yeah, and that within the first hour, you understand just how ruthless he is as a dictator, and it's unbelievable. Like it really. But you know, it's funny. I saw a couple of people saying the game looks a little dated as far as this and that goes. I'm going to tell you guys something, and this is me on just a hunch. If you guys don't like the way these animations are, get ready because I think Dying Light 2 is going to be just like this. You know, I think that it's Dying Light 2 is going to be an up-res version of Dying Light 1. And I can't wait to play it. That's my bummer of 2021 is that, you know, gaming wise is definitely that Dying Light got postponed to February when we have another 25 games to play.
Yeah,
February is insane, bro.
that's the truth.
You know, so but I don't know. So BRAP, you just picked it up. I want to say I promised the individual that game gifted it to me, so I was gifted the Far Cry in the Series X. I think it looks beautiful. It runs beautiful. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Again, I'm only an hour in. The minute I'm done, I'm actually going to do a test here. So I have my Series X in my office where I do the streaming and I capture the video. But then I have a Series S in my family room. I'm going to try the Series S tonight and see how it looks different from my Series X. I'm wondering if there's a big difference there. Anybody who's played it, of course, I'm going back to Addict here, but Addict, have you talked to anybody who played this game on a Series S and if there was any major graphical differences between the two consoles?
No, but I wonder if Kid Smooth played it on the S. I know he has both, but I haven't personally talked to anyone.
Okay, that was my curiosity though, because I can answer my own question in the next 45 minutes. But I played, like I said, the first hour on the X, and I'll be probably playing a couple hours tonight on my S. Regardless,
Don't you want to know how it looks on PC? I mean, don't you want to
listen after doing what is probably going to be a 2.5 hour podcast and setting this all up in my office? I'm looking forward to a couch after this, Sir X-Man. But I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, okay. So next topic I do, and I shout out to Strictly, who's like Strictly's like, Mooch, I got to leave at a certain time. Damn it, he's like, that Halo conversation was an hour. I do want to talk about Metroid Dread, and I do want to talk about the Switch OLED. I want to give props and shout out to Jeff Grubb.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Addict, was that you? Addict's like, I got to get the hell out of here.
I'm eating and I really don't care about none of the Switch topics.
Okay.
I apologize that what happened is
I had to go.
I agreed to go on someone else's podcast before you
no
asked
problem.
me today.
No, yeah.
When he promoted me coming on, then I remembered.
No, shout out to the bit. You guys, great
I'm
show.
just playing. Attic, I'm messing with you, man.
Yeah, you guys are fine, man. It was, you have a nice day, though.
No, appreciate it, Attic.
man.
Attic, thank you for stopping by. Attic literally just did 3 hours of podcasting in a row. So shout out to Attic. I appreciate him being here and stopping by. We're going to get him on full time in a week or two when he can come back on. Attic, thank you. I'll plug the review and the ILP, of course.
I appreciate it, man. You guys have a good day.
Always, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I want to say this, and shout out to Jeff Grubb. You know, Jeff, maybe I don't give enough credit. You know, I'm a big fan. I listen in as much as I can to Jeff and Mike. They do a great Nintendo podcast. I mean, it's predominantly Nintendo. Sometimes it goes just like this show. Sometimes it'll go off the rails and they'll kind of get into some funny stuff and some banter, which is great. But I do want to give credit where credit's due. You know, I don't know if it was Spot or if it was Game Informer, one of the channels, but I'll give them all credit. I watched about 3 or 4. I was not going to go out and buy the OLED Nintendo. That was not on my radar if you asked me about 6 days ago. But then I just kind of got to a point where I was watching some videos, and the few things that really irk me about my version 1 Switch, my docked version 1 Switch, they seemingly kind of alleviated it. And I want to explain to you guys and see where you guys are at. The screen is a tad larger, which when they show the actual dimensions of it larger, may not mean a lot to you mathematically. But when you're talking about a handheld, that little bit is a significant bump, I feel. The other thing is the materials used. It feels more like an actual like piece of electronic that is something that's in your hand. It feels like an outstandingly made product, where the V1 feels like more of a toy. It's a little bit plasticky. This is much more solid. And third, and definitely shouldn't be last, is the OLED screen. Anybody that has an OLED TV at home versus their LCD, and I have an LCD in one room, I have an OLED in the other. When we're watching the exact same movie, it looks drastically different on the OLED. And the same thing happens here when you correlate it into video games. It's an amazing transformation. Plus, Moochonomics, I promised everybody Moochonomics. I traded in my V1. I got $200. The Great Gaming Forte is here. Forte, I applaud and I promote your company more than I think anybody else's. GameStop's giving $200. Gave me $200 for my V1 today, my docking V1, and the new console was $100. So it cost me $150 out of pocket.
That's all you got.
I got $200.
I got $260.
How?
Ow.
How?
I don't
Employee
know. I got
discount?
$260. No, everybody in my store got $260.
All right, looks like I got to go back to the store tomorrow. I know my manager very
Oh,
well.
that's interesting.
So that's
Today?
today.
You traded it in today?
Well, he said. So here's the
wow.
thing. So the 200. You guys do this, right? Forte at your store too. Like I bought the Switch OLED today. I'm actually bringing in the trade in tomorrow, and they return it and then give you the trade in. You know they do that.
So you haven't done the trade in yet?
No, I didn't do it yet. He said it was 200.
Oh no, it's 260, sir.
Well, let me tell you something. Moochonomics just got better.
There's a trade boost in place. It showed, like, if you go to the website, it shows 200 because that's the base trade-in. But right now, they're doing a $50 bonus. Plus, if you have the membership card, you get another 10%. So it comes up to like 260.
Oh, thank you so much for the inside word, Forte, because I am going in thinking that. Neil Augusto said he got 260 as well. Then I want my 260. By the way, Jeff, don't feel bad because I literally went to the store, did that. I had to work, and then I got ready for the podcast, and everything else kind of like flustered around dinner. I also have not set up my OLED, so you're getting yours tomorrow. I will be setting mine up tomorrow. But I did kind of
That'll
just
pay
mess
for your
with it.
game right there. That'll pay for your game that you're gonna get for the Switch OLED right there.
Hey, just
That's a
make
good
sure
point.
you give me that 260 Mooch. That's all I'm saying. But I do get.
Wait, Strictly. Would you say Strictly?
I said, make sure you give me that 260, bro. You know. Let me get that.
Man, all I know,
I'm with you, man. I gotta be out, bro. Man. I gotta be out.
Yeah. Oh, you got to bounce, Strictly?
Yeah, man.
All right, listen.
Definitely,
Let me do this real quick. I want to say shout out to Strictly Gaming for being here. Strictly, listen, we're gonna get you back on here. Well, listen, I can't even promise you next time you come on, we aren't gonna do an hour on one topic. Shout out to Jeff Grubb again. He's like, he literally was here for one show where we did 2.5 hours on one topic. But nonetheless, I want to say this much. Strictly, thanks for being here, man. Guys, check out Strictly on Twitter. Check out his YouTube, which I want you to plug right now. Strictly, check out his spaces, man. He goes hard on them. He does them right. He organizes it. He's got it so you cannot speak out improperly. He goes everybody in turn and he holds it down. So Strictly, let people know where they can find you, and thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Yes, sir, man. Definitely a pleasure being on the show, man. You know, Mooch, you know, you're my guy.
Thank you.
Know what I'm saying? Really dope person, man. And the whole panel, you know, and yeah, man, just hit me up on Twitter, man. STLCTY03. I got my YouTube channel. Honestly, I'm not on it as much as I want to be because I'm really doing a lot of spaces. And, you know, that's just the honest truth. You know what I'm saying? But, man, if y'all ever see me on spaces, man, and y'all want to speak, hit the request button. I promise I got you straight up.
Appreciate that, Strictly. Like I said, we will get you back on in a few weeks or when you're available, man. We got to get you back on the show. I appreciate you being here this evening.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it, man. You already know.
Thanks, Strictly.
Yo,
Sir.
See you, man.
Mooch,
Yes.
did you know how much I paid for my? There's no employee discount. You know how much I paid for my Switch OLED with my copy of Metroid Dread
How much?
out the door?
How much?
$2.67.
You know
Wait,
what
wait.
I said he was gonna say?
Would you
200.
trade in?
I don't know why.
I traded in my V2, my Switch V2.
Okay.
That was $260. And games tomorrow is the last day. I had 2 Elite controllers because I just had 2 Elite controllers. And right now, GameStop is giving $120 per Elite controller because they're giving 50% extra trade-in. Normally, a Switch Elite version 2 trades in for $75. You trade it in, you get $120. So Forte,
I have an
I'm going to
Elite.
GameStop.
So wait a minute.
tomorrow.
I have 2 questions with your story. First of all, you said you got $260 trade-in for your V2. I want to make it clear again. I have a V.
V2 and V1. V2 and V1s are the same price.
Okay, I was gonna say I got a V1. Okay, I want to make that clear because I got the very first one the day it came out. Okay.
They both trade in for the same price.
Okay.
Now.
Second of all, I have an Elite, an Xbox Elite controller V1, and I have an Elite controller V2. I would not trade in my V2, but what about my what's the V1 worth?
I think V1 straight in for I think they traded for $80 bucks.
Okay. Oh shoot.
$80 store credit, and the V2 trades in for 120.
Well, I mean, at that point, I'd actually have a credit for my OLED. Well, I mean, and not my, but I have Dread too. I had Dread too, so I picked
that's
it.
That's why I said I paid $2.67 for my Switch OLED with a copy of Dread.
Forte, I got a question. Can you trade in your V2 Elite controller and just buy a new Elite 2 controller?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll work.
They gonna check the controller.
It works.
Anything's wrong with it?
It works, but it just, I had to say it drifts.
Mine drifts. All the V2s. My V2 drifts too.
You better hope when they hook it up to the machine, it doesn't drift in.
Oh nah, it should.
All they're gonna do,
right.
but but that's the thing though. People don't realize even if your controller doesn't work, they just take some credit off. They'll take I don't know how much it is on the V2s, but I know on standard, yeah, they still take it. They'll send it out to get it fixed, but they'll just take a credit off. It's probably for a V2, they'll probably take $12 off of it.
I can live with that, and I just buy a new one right then and there, or one of your used ones. That's been fixed.
Like right now, because the 50%, just because controllers are super hard to find, and people, controllers are like a commodity right now.
Right.
So right now, if you take let's say if you take one of those carbon, say how everybody got a controller with their Xbox, their Series X and their S's. If most are using Elite controllers, so they're not even really using those controllers. So I just tell people hey, if you're using an Elite controller, why wouldn't you just trade in your controller that came with your Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
That's $48 they're giving you for it, because normally it's $30, but then you get a $18 boost just because you're a pro member on top of the 50%, so it comes up to $48.
So I went ahead, Forte. I got the OLED. You got the OLED. Did you? How did your store do as far as people coming in and picking up Metroid? And I know that again, Jeff Grubb has this thing going on, which I've been trying to keep my ear to the ground on. Jeff's been really trying to keep an eye on whether or not no Metroid. And Jeff, if I'm saying this wrong, please correct me in the chat. No Metroid has sold over 3 million. Was it 3 million? Is it 3 million copies?
This is the 3 million copies. This will be the first one that does it. You want to know why?
I think it will too. But
it'll be the first one to do it, because you tell me a first-party title that's came out and I think this is more to do with the Switch than it is just Metroid in general.
Okay.
You tell me a game that's been first-party from Nintendo that hasn't went over 3 million.
Well, apparently, Metroid, not Switch.
No. Well, there's no. That's what I'm saying. You tell me a game that's released on Switch today.
Oh, okay.
That's a first-party game. That hasn't went over 3 million.
Yeah. No, I don't have an answer for you, and the answer is there probably isn't one.
Because as of right now, I think the last number they put out was 90 million, something like that.
Okay.
I can tell you right now, I had about 70, I think it was 74 copies of the game. When I left the store, we were pretty much almost out.
Okay.
Pretty much out. Everybody that bought the OLED today, they picked up Dread. I had a bunch of people that pre-ordered it. I had people just coming into the store buying it.
Jeff said Astral Chain has not. He said that's one game.
Yeah, Astral Chain. Okay, well, Astral Chain has not then. Okay,
but Metroid has much more history than Astral Chain.
It has much more history to it.
Absolutely.
I just see it's something about this game and about Nintendo, and I think a lot of people, and this is the first Metroid, 2D side scroller in 20 years.
Yes.
You know why, Forte? Nintendo spreads their games out very well.
Very, very well. And I think people, when they first saw this game last year, you know how a lot of people were like, oh my God, it's a 2D side scroller. Why couldn't it be 3D? But the first thing I said is okay, I'm down for this, because those are the ones I like the most. And I think they can, if they can revitalize a genre like the side-scrolling versions of Metroid. That would just make people even more hungrier
Right.
For the next Metroid Prime when they finally do.
Have you played
like
it? Have you played Metroid yet? Forte, have you played Metroid yet?
Oh yeah, dude, it's phenomenal.
Dude, I heard the best thing. Let me tell you.
Hard as hell.
For people that don't know, I've watched just some. Again, no spoilers. No spoiler reviews or initial takes, I should say. And what I love about it is, you guys know Halloween's one of my favorite times. I heard this is actually a damn near creepy Metroid.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to say, but once certain people show up in the game, it's like, yo, it's kind of. Because
I was watching Fighting Cowboy on YouTube, and he literally ran into a room. He's like, oh shit, and he ran back out. And he's like, what kind of Metroid is this? He's like, my heart's in my throat when I'm playing this game. He's like, I don't ever remember a Metroid like this. Is that something you experienced as well, or no?
I did the first time I was like, because I didn't watch any reviews or anything on it because I already knew I was going to get it. Somebody just told me like it's like a little eerie to it, and I was like, yeah, right, it's a Metroid game. It can't be. Then I played. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's something
You're in the know, and I got a question. Is there any word about a brand new Foxfire game? The Foxfire game franchise that they used to have.
Oh, you mean
Nintendo making one?
Oh, you talking about
Star Fox?
Yeah, Star Fox.
Star
Fox, right.
I wish there would be.
I love that game. I'd get an.
I like the original. All the stuff that they did a couple spin-offs that were kind of subpar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, like I tell everybody that asks me that question inside of YouTube.
Oh, I'm not
Twitter,
the only one.
Like no. You're not the only one. I'm gonna tell you, like I tell all those people that ask me that, on YouTube and Twitter. There is a great show called the Nintendo, and the person that's going to break that news to you is sitting in the chat right now by the name of Jeff Grubb. So when he says it, when it happens, that's going to be the person that's going to break that news to you. He's going to be the one that's going to do it.
Jeff, can Mooch get a couple of Nintendo codes? I heard you have to be. It has to be like royalty for those. Whatever we got to do.
You, listen,
Mooch wants a review code.
Right.
Listen, there's not like this is no cap. This is just being straight up, being for real. There is no person when it comes to Nintendo that I will listen to and not. I won't say because I'll take anybody's stuff as gospel until you see it for yourself. But he's probably the closest person. He's probably the closest that I'll say if he says something's gonna happen, I'm really paying attention.
Goldblum, you're a big Nintendo fan, aren't you? Did we lose Goldblum? We might have lost Goldblum.
Goldblum that fell asleep.
Yeah,
I think Goldblum.
Are you a big Nintendo guy?
I took my my mic out. What's up?
Are you a big Nintendo guy?
No, not really, dude. I actually got rid of my Nintendo Switch because I was like, I'm not playing it. It's just sitting there. It's collecting dust, and I was just like, okay, I'm done.
Really?
And everybody
still have it?
I don't have it. I sold it.
No, he said he sold it.
Oh, you sold it. Okay, good.
Yeah, he sold it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I had a V. Well, I still have the V1. Technically, is still physically here until tomorrow when I go back to GameStop. But I have the OLED now, and I've got a Switch Lite. And the reason, listen, you guys know this. I said it last week. I'll say it again. I've always been a Nintendo fan my whole life. Like, the thing about it is like, of course, as we've gotten older, I do play it a lot less. But I try to promote Nintendo through the family. You know what I mean? They have, of course, it's a huge family library of games. I think it's more kid-friendly than any of the other consoles, of course. I mean, yes, does Xbox and PlayStation have kid-friendly games? Absolutely. I think Nintendo still holds the crown on that one. It's funny because the Nintendo franchise does so well. I don't know how you guys do with your kids, but my kids don't really flock to Nintendo the way that I did. They play it, but they play it sparingly considering how big and how popular Nintendo really is. Do you guys have success with does your family play the Switch as much as you would assume they do?
I do.
That's good to hear, Brad. I mean it.
No, like they play everything, but they definitely use their Switches. Like, and probably the 7-year-old more so than the 12-year-old because the 12-year-old's a little bit older, so he's playing other games like he'll play stuff like on PlayStation, and he'll play stuff on he's got an Xbox Series S as well, so he's gonna play stuff on there. But they definitely do play Nintendo games for sure.
My kids,
the
my
7-year-olds are
friends,
really into it.
all they play is Melee, the battle, the fighting game that Nintendo has. What is it called?
Yeah.
Brawl game, that brawl
Smash
game.
Brothers.
Smash Brothers, right?
Smash, yes,
That's
yeah,
all
they
they
both play.
play.
They both play Smash Brothers. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Forte, real quick. I know you want to chime in, but I got to say something, Forte,
No,
real
go
quick, man. The FOMO is real.
The FOMO is real.
I know it is.
What's
I
FOMO?
know it's real. It's fear of missing out.
What's FOMO? I'm confused.
Fear of missing out.
Missing out. FOMO.
So
Oh, hell no.
you know what's funny? So BRAP, what's your take on that? Because me and you have this conversation off air a lot of times too about the FOMO stuff.
Oh, BRAP has a really good take on it. Go ahead, BRAP. Tell everybody.
Well, no, BRAP, and that's fine. I just my thing is this. I don't think it was FOMO for something with the Switch OLED. It wasn't a FOMO thing. For me, it was. I've always felt that like the screen size needed to be increased a bit. Of course, would I like better tech in the Switch? You know, like a Super Switch.
We all
absolutely. Would. Like I'm not going to sit here and say no, this is good enough. But I'll say this much: it's decent enough for now. And I've always been a fan of the Moochonomics. So you just heard, you guys all heard Forte say it. Okay, he runs a store. If you're getting $260, stop and think about this. Forte, correct me if I'm wrong. The original V1 Switch, it cost $300, wasn't it?
Right. $300.
I'm getting $260. This is Moochonomics, guys. Please get out your notebooks. There'll be a test next Friday. Okay? You have $260 trade-in right now. Yes, I understand. You might go, well, Mooch, I don't want to pay, okay, the remaining balance, whatever that may be. There was it $90 out of pocket with tax and everything. You're paying about $100. I don't want to pay $100 for another Switch. I have a Switch.
100.
I got it. I get it. But every single time, you're going to benefit from the better looking screen. You're going to benefit from the better hardware. The kickstand alone, if you're using this thing portable, or even if you have I have a Pro controller, beautiful. The kickstand now has unbelievable degrees of freedom. It's not just a little plastic toothpick on the back. It's unbelievably sturdy. It has an Ethernet capability now, so you don't have to just use Wi-Fi. You can plug it in directly, hardwire it in. I mean, that may not be the big thing. Right, but there's certain things here. So my whole point being is that it's not FOMO. You're getting $260 on your $299 investment, first of all. And that was years ago, 2017 when I bought that. That's insane. Then I take that $100 out of pocket after, tax and such and such. Whatever, I'm using just basic numbers here. Then that extra $100, think about this. You don't think that the OLED version is going to get more money when the Super Switch comes out? Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. So you're constantly investing into something. You're also getting the benefit of the services provided by the upgrade. If you can wiggle the $90 out somehow and make it happen, and you're a Switch fan, if you're not a Switch fan, this point's mute. Don't just ignore this part. But I'm saying to you, this is why I do what I do. I constantly will upgrade. GameStop is my favorite place to go. They offer the best incentives. So that's where I go for everything. And I actually, you know what though, Forte? You could say shame on me or not. I bought the 2-year warranty on it. You guys, well, you guys have the best. It was a $59 2-year warranty, and it was the best $59 I spent because literally they tell you could literally take your Switch, you could record yourself, you could actually throw your Switch down a flight of stairs, bring it in, and get another one. I mean, they have the most unbelievable return policy in the return policy world of merchandise. So. I did that because
bring me a product.
But you know what it is, Forte? For someone like me, you have kids. Now I don't care if the kids take the OLED Switch and have fun with it. Because if it cracks the screen, I get another one. I might have to wait for one to come back.
I've returned stuff at GameStop. I like it because they keep your receipt in their system.
Now Forte, right maybe you can correct on this. Again, my friend's the manager there. That's not entirely true. It's always good to keep your receipt because your last 5 or 6 transactions are what they can pull up immediately.
He's right about one. Well, he's right about when it comes to systems, they track those.
Okay. So not games and hardware. All right.
Games you have to have the receipt.
You gotta have it, but for systems, they track them by serial number. So if you lose the receipt or anything, we just can return it and scan the serial number and see the warranty.
And it does that with a controller too, correct? You just got to bring the box back in, right?
No controller. You
gotta have a receipt. Okay, thank you for letting me know.
Systems are the only thing that you don't have to worry about.
All right, sweet.
Well, there you go, guys. And look, I went over the 2-hour mark. Even BRAP, I'm gonna have to do like 5 minutes of outros of people that had to leave after the 9 o'clock hour. I've kept these guys very, very long. I know Dark Optimus over there on the West Coast. He's eating lunch or something.
Listen, one thing to say real quick.
Those West Coasters, you got to be careful.
Hey, we're eating lunch and sipping our lattes.
Yes, you are.
And we're jealous over here. I will say this much. Outstanding show. I want to thank everybody. Thanks to the chat, the super chat. Actually, and pardon me, JudaZuk came out here. JudaZuk has a super chat. He says, I keep hearing if you like Far Cry 3, you'll like Far Cry 6. My problem is I hated Far Cry 3, but love Far Cry 5. So not sure about this. JudaZuk, I would say to you in that case, wait a bit, look at the reviews, maybe watch some people streaming it, maybe, look at some of the non-spoiler reviews. I would definitely say to you that if you liked 5, I think this one, I'm only an hour in, so it's really not fair for me to really make a comment. But I could say to you that, in my personal opinion, this is going to lean more towards 3 than 5. But if you like Far Cry, I have a hard time thinking you're not going to like this one. That would be my answer to that. But I want to say thank you to everybody here. Thanks for the super chats, guys. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to become a Mooch Maniac family member, it means the world to me. Please do hit that join button. Next week, we are doing a lot on Twitch. I'm going to be doing a Twitch stream on Wednesday. Right now, I have it planned for Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday of next week. Very excited for you guys to see what we did to the Twitch. Whole new look, whole new setup. It's going to be really something, guys. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. Been working really, really hard with a lot of different talented people to make this happen. It's not me just sitting here on OBS, just moving things left and right. A lot of different talented people helped me make this happen. So please do, guys, consider joining the channel and being a member. That being said, let me go through this outstanding panel that's remaining. I'll go in reverse order and say, the great Sir X-Man. Sir X-Man, thank you so much for being here. Your insight on Battlefield and your take on games. I love it when you're in the chat, and I love it even more when you're on the panel. Let people know where they can find you, and I appreciate you being here this evening.
Hey, one thing to say, people. You got through a whole day of CrossFire with no mentioning of Game Pass. Isn't that incredible?
Wow!
Well, you just mentioned it, so
no. That is waived. That we'll strike that from the record. But no, he made a good point. That is Jeff Grubb. I would also like Jeff to make note of this. This is the first time we've gotten through a Crossfire without mentioning Game Pass.
I know, isn't it awesome?
Wow!
All right. You
made my weekend, Sir X-Man. Thank you.
You're welcome, dude. You can find me at Sir X-Man1 on Twitch. I'm into streaming racing games now.
You are. Yes, absolutely.
With the triple screen rig, and I'm loving every minute of it. You can catch me on Twitter at just Sir X-Man. I'm working on a podcast show called The Elder Gamer. It's me and Cerebral Paul. We're still trying to work out some issues and set it up nicely, but that will be coming within the next month or two. And that's about it.
From the nursing home.
You, my buddy, you're the only one that can get away with some stuff like that, man. But other than that, that's about it. I'm enjoying having some time now to finally play some games.
Yes.
And it feels so good. So that's about it. I enjoyed being on the show today.
Thank you, Sir X-Man. I appreciate it. Shout out to the great Jeff Grubb. Jeff, thank you so much for that super chat. He goes, wow. I am proud of you. I mean, honestly, Jeff, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pretty goddamn proud of myself, too. And I didn't even do it. That was not deliberate. That was not deliberate. I swear on everything holy. That was not deliberate. Sir X-Man, you really made my night. And apparently, you made Jeff's.
I tried to keep you away from Game Pass today. That's why I kept.
Well, you never know when the conversation just going to take a left turn. You never know.
Well, I would have stopped it in mid-show.
It's still bad, but even if you stopped it mid-show, we wouldn't have gotten credit like we just did. So let me say shout out to Dark Optimus, the great Goldblum out there. Goldblum, we love that you're on the West Coast. You give us that feed over here on the East Coast that we need, and you do it in such a great way. It's a way that we can tolerate. So Goldblum, great to have you here on the show, buddy. We love you. Let everybody know where they can find you, please.
Well, especially since during the wintertime when you guys are all cooped up in your little houses and stuff like that. Yeah. No, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox, PlayStation at the same name. And as always, you guys can find me on the next podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific with Xbox 448 on his channel.
Yes, appreciate that. I'm going to plug Xbox channel as well. Great to have you, Goldblum. And then the great gaming Forte. I know that you worked, you took pictures, you showed all your Switch stuff. You were very excited. I even think you called in from the car when you first were on the way. I want to say thanks for being here. I appreciate that, Forte. Let people know where they can find you in a great episode of DPS last night. A shout out to you and Slow-Mo.
Oh, appreciate it, man. It's always a great time. The one thing I'll leave you with, the one thing I appreciate the most about this Switch OLED is the fact that when you turn it on, it looks like it's off because the screen is so dark. Like, have you turned yours on yet, Mooch?
No, it's still in the box. I'm setting it up tomorrow. That's why I told Jeff, don't feel bad. He's getting his tomorrow. I'm not setting mine up till tomorrow.
Listen, as soon as you turn it on, you're going to be like, is it even on? And then you're going to see that white Nintendo logo show up. And you're going to be like, yo, that back screen looks so dark.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
This is OLED,
and I can't wait to play.
So good.
The fact that the OLED is so amazing, and the fact that I get to play Metroid, dude, you don't understand. I mean, everyone says nostalgia, but you just don't get it. Like, that's one of my top 3 games from the kid years, the Mooch kid years. You know what I mean? Like, it was just to be able to strike that game into a new Nintendo Switch console. It's I don't know. It's a marriage made in heaven. But Forte, thank you for letting me know about that OLED screen.
Hey, on that new OLED Switch, can you output HDMI now right from the console?
No, you still have to hook it up to the dock for that.
Okay. Just curious.
Still got to do the dock.
Because I want to put it on a capture device. That's why.
Well, I mean, yeah, I feel you. But like I said, we're all excited. Like, a lot of us are excited for the OLED. The biggest thing is it something that you have to have? No. I mean, there is benefits to having it. Like Mooch said, Moochonomics. If you only basically lost $40 in your investment to get the newer one, then it's kind of worth doing it. But I will tell you this: if you play predominantly in handheld mode, you are doing yourself a disservice by not having the Switch OLED.
100% agree with that, and that's the sentiment. That's
literally going to make your experience better.
Yes,
even at $200 after the deal is over, that's still a good deal.
Right, exactly.
It's still a good deal.
Yep. So with that being said, appreciate it. It's a great show as always. Gaming Forte everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, and PlayStation. DPS yesterday on Slow Mo's channel. It will be on my channel next week. Gonna have another amazing show then. And no matter what system and games you're playing on, and enjoy your weekend and enjoy the games.
Right there, Forte. Let me do a couple plugs for everybody that had to leave a little early. First, I'll do the great Xbot448. That's Xbot448 on Twitter. It's on YouTube. Go check out Xbot, and he had his next podcast last night. So outstanding show by Xbot. They get great. BRAP had to leave early as well. Basement Radio Arcade Podcast Wednesdays 9 p.m. Eastern time is when he does his show, and there's always BRAP rants throughout the week. That's I think it's BRAP as well. It's BRAP _ I'm looking right now. Podcast on Twitter. I also had the great Strictly. Strictly had to leave. He did do his outro, but shout out to Strictly Gaming. Great to have Strictly here for the first time. Definitely won't be the last time, man. He's just a wise gamer. He's got great opinions, and you know what? He knows what Crossfire is all about. He knows how to take the conversation, go back and forth. That's what I love about it. So we're definitely going to see Strictly back on the show. Shout out also to Lord Addict. Guys, go over and check out the ILP. They do a great show on Sunday mornings as well. And also, Addict has a review out on the ILP podcast website, for Far Cry 6. So shout out to Lord Addict for doing BitCloud Gaming Show. Shout out to Bit. Bit did a great show, and he also interviewed the woman who played Mia Winters from the last two, Resident Evil games. So he did an outstanding job. Plus, he had a podcast with the Iron Lord podcast tonight on his show. So shout out to Lord Addict. And I'm trying to see here. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody here. There's OBM, the great OBM, One Bad Mother. He had to leave early. He had to go pick up some family members, but he also wasn't feeling too well. So thanks to OBM for being on the show tonight. You guys can find him at One Bad Mother. And I'm looking to see right now. It is actually at MUTH_1. So shout out to OBM. Appreciate his insight on all things Halo. And then I've also got the _Crap Gamer and Crap Gamer Reviews on YouTube. Go over and check out Crap. He does 2 videos a day for you guys. For you, like I said, we have a lot of content starting on this channel and on Twitch. Guys, twitch.tv, TheMooch78, same as here. Please hit the subscribe button. Guys, go over and follow me on Twitch. We are going to have a lot of fun starting over there. And trust me, I don't just stream the game. We have a show while we play the game. It's going to be a hell of a show over there. You guys are not going to be disappointed. And I've got some special guests that are going to be on this channel and on Twitch coming up very soon. And you're going to want to hear what they have to say about these particular games we're playing. So, guys, thanks so much. I appreciate everybody here. Hopefully, I didn't forget anybody because we had like 10 people on the show tonight. So I hope I didn't forget anybody else. But if I did, I apologize in advance. And I want to say this much. We'll see you guys next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Enjoy your games, guys. Far Cry, Metroid, Switch OLED. There's a lot of stuff going on. Battlefield 2042 beta. My God, it just goes on and on. And of course, Season 6 on Warzone. Nonetheless, we'll see you guys next Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and peace out.